Uh-oh. Oh, I'm dumb.
Hello and welcome everyone to Chrysler Center for an evening of Michigan volleyball. The Wolverines looking to offset what has been a difficult start to the season with the matchup against Big Ten opponents Northwestern. Kobe, what are you looking to see from this game?
Well, I am looking for Michigan to snap this 7-game losing streak. Now, um, our research team unfortunately has not been able to find out the longest losing streak in Michigan volleyball history, but I mean this has to be up there. 2-11 start. Um, Definitely not what Michigan envisioned to start the year. Definitely what first-year head coach Aaron Virtue, definitely not the start she envisioned. But um, they've only played 4 Big Ten games, looking for their first Big Ten win. Northwestern is, I mean, they're playing Nebraska tomorrow. Northwestern is not Nebraska, so this is a huge chance for them to get their first Big Ten win.
Yeah. Northwestern are 7-7, 1-3 against the rest of the Big Ten, which contrasts to Michigan's 2-11 and 0-4 against the Big Ten, only slightly. While Northwestern are probably the better team at this stage of the year, it is a fairly closely matched competition, and I think the Wolverines will fancy themselves to get a win here. I would say so.
Yes, and I mean one of the reasons why they have not been able to um, get uh, get a win recently probably is undoubtedly the loss of redshirt senior, the libero, Hannah Grant. She was an all Big Ten second team in a loaded volleyball conference, Big Ten, being all Big Ten second team. That is just fantastic. So she played the first 2 games of the season against Boston College and Sacred Heart and has not played since. So I don't have any like inside information, but I don't like expect her to play tonight. If she plays, that would be a tremendous surprise. But I do not expect her to play. And then losing her, I mean, she's the libero of this team, probably the heart of this team, and losing her is just fantastic. So I mean, in her place, Maddie Cochran, the junior, is gonna have to do a really good job.
Yeah. Some other names to watch out for are Serena Nyambio, the sophomore middle blocker, Jacques Boni, who is also a middle blocker, who is also a junior, Scotty Johnson at setter, Kendall Murray at outside hitter, and then your outside hitter slash opposite hitters, Valentina Voile and Amalia Simmons.
Yeah, and Kendall Murray, you mentioned her. She is one of the biggest threats on this team. She's 6'2". She's a senior from Ann Arbor, and she is the opposite hitter, outside hitter on this team. We see her practicing right now. She's very powerful, and it's going to be important for her to get going if Michigan is going to rack up the kills. And Jackie Boney as well. In their in So the last time Michigan won was against North Carolina, a 3-0 set win, and Jackie Boney and Kendall Murray were dominant. And Jackie Boney she's the middle blocker, and she is so crucial for the defensive part of this team.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I agree with everything that Kobe here said. It's going to be a tough matchup. Today is, I believe it's Pink Out Night at Chrysler Center for breast cancer awareness, so good cause. Hopefully Michigan can get a victory in front of the home fans. We have about 40 seconds to go until we will presumably begin with the national anthem and proceed to the tip-off. Stay right here with WCBN. Yeah, we're just going to start off with the national anthems. Just brings us to the end of the national anthem. We are now going to proceed.
Yeah, and so we got Northwestern is wearing their. Northwestern's going to go with purple. Michigan is going to go with whites today. And yeah, and we're going to get underway very, very soon. A pretty decent crowd here. If I would have to estimate, I'd say I'm going to go with 1,000.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair enough for a Friday night volleyball game.
Maybe a little more. I don't really know how to estimate crowd numbers, but I say this is a pretty solid crowd. As the introductions are about to start, we'll get you the starting lineup here in a few moments. But I think key, Michigan has gotten swept in 3 straight sets for 4 straight games. Their last set win was September 17th against Bowling Green. So this is going to be a very important game.
Yeah, and Michigan's only matchup in October was against the number 1 team in the country at the time, Wisconsin, a 3-0 loss. Now they welcome Northwestern. My apologies. Now they welcome Northwestern. The teams are huddling up, likely deciding last-minute strategy, figuring out what they're going to do. We will bring you the lineups as soon as they are read out.
I believe starting at libero in place for Hannah Grant will probably be Maddie Cochran. Be my assumption, but for Northwestern, we can see Alexa Rousseau is starting for Northwestern, the outside hitter. Delaney Dodson will be the middle blocker. Who else? The libero will be Ellie Stinson. It's hard to see the numbers.
At setter, you likely have Sienna Nordimer.
Yes, probably. And at Gigi Navarrete is also in the starting lineup. But for Michigan, we have Scotty Johnson, this senior setter. We have Lydia Johnson. Actually, no, scratch that. Saj McBurrows. She is the graduate student opposite hitter. We have Jackie Boney, the middle blocker. She is a junior. And actually at libero, it's going to be the senior Brooke Humphrey. To round us out, of course, Kendall Murray, the outside hitter. And I believe we have Serena Niambio, the sophomore middle blocker, is also going to start. So you got 2 middle blockers out there, Serena Niambio and Jackie Boney. They are going to be very key for this matchup as we're going to get started in about a minute.
Yeah, the teams just exchanged pleasantries, some final huddles. They're getting ready. They're hungry. I'm sure Michigan fans are hungry to see a victory. Northwestern fans are probably hungry to see a victory as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not been an easy season for Northwestern as well. 1-3 in the Big Ten. Not the start they want. They've lost 3 in a row. 2 of them to Wisconsin and Penn State. Very, very good teams. The last win was against Yale, September 15th. So both these teams have not won in a couple weeks. We'll get the decision on who is serving first. Although it does look like Northwestern is going to serve first, and yes, it is. It'll be
Number 23,
Gigi Navarrete.
she is a freshman.
Gigi Navarrete, the serve. Michigan has it. Kendall Murray with the hit. Northwestern corrals it. Tipped by Northwestern. The dig by Scotty Johnson. Kendall Murray tips it. Northwestern gathers it. The spike saved by Northwestern. And Michigan hits it off the Northwestern player. A blocking error, and that's going to be the first point for the Wolverines.
The Wolverines start off nice and early, just continuing to build that momentum, which eventually frustrated Northwestern, leading to their first fault and Michigan's first point.
And the serve by Michigan, blocks by Michigan. And it'll be Northwestern's first point. 1-1. Ellie Stinson to serve. She is the junior libero. Serve gathered by Michigan. The spike, Northwestern has it. Northwestern comes back and spiked. Blocked by Boney. Northwestern gets it back over. Brooke Humphrey, the set to Kendall Murray, and it's dug out by Stimson, and that's gonna be a set error by Carly Kureskovich. It's 2-1 Northwestern.
Yeah, both teams coming out, scoring quickly, looking like moving this ball around with some urgency, but in the process leading to some errors.
Michigan, Kendall Murray, the spike, and it's down. The kill for Kendall Murray. Her first kill of the match, of the set and match, and it'll be 2-2.
Beautifully taken spike.
Maddie Cochran to serve for Michigan. The serve to the left side. Oh, and it went over, and Jackie Boney took advantage and killed it. It's 3-2. What a play by Boney.
Michigan quickly regaining the lead, almost as quickly as they lost it.
Here's Cochran once again. Serves, goes back to the left side. Spikes, save by Scotty Johnson. Up for Murray. Dug out by Stinson. And it's blocked by Michigan. Dug out by Stimson once again. Michigan has it. Going for Boney, and it's out of bounds. 3-3. Some substitutions here. Maddie Chin leaves the game, and to serve, it'll be Drew Wright. Serving from the left side of the court. To the right side. Has it. Up for Boney once again. Tipped by Northwestern defender. Northwestern going up to spike it. And a nice dig but right to Northwestern. Back to Michigan. Up for Murray. The tip, and it's dug out by Northwestern. The spike blocked by Boney and Johnson. Up again, blocked by Boney. Michigan recovers. There's a fight at the net. Johnson gathers it. Murray up the spike, right to Stinson. Northwestern up once again, and they win the point off the hands of Kendall Murray. That was Julia Sangiacomo with the kill.
In spite of Murray's slip-up, those driving bombs, those spikes that she's been sending in have been quite crucial to Michigan's attack so far in the opening few minutes of the set.
Here's Wright. Serves. Boney on the right side, blocked by Sangiacomo. Up to Murray, and it's blocked by Northwestern, but it goes out of bounds. That's going to be a point for Michigan, 4-4.
Michigan are going to make a substitution, I believe.
Yeah. Valentina Aula is in the game for Michigan. Kendall Murray to serve from the left side of the court. Serves to the right side, and Jackie Boney takes advantage of the Northwestern mistake, but then Northwestern blocks it right onto the Michigan side. It's going to be a point for Northwestern. It's 5-4.
Yeah, it was pretty much a duel right at the net, leaving a very small margin for either team. Northwestern narrowly won that point.
Sangiacomo with the serve. To Violet. Violet again, and that's going to be a kill.
Violet, the freshman from all the way in Argentina, coming on and pretty much immediately making an impact to level the game so far, level the set.
Argentina to Ann Arbor. 5-5. It's Boney to serve. Served on the left side, dug out by Northwestern. The attempted spike. Trying to go to Sangiacomo, but no. And Michigan is blocked by Niambio, and it goes out of bounds. It's going to be a 6-5 Northwestern lead. Served by Dodson. Murray, and that's going to be a mistake for Murray. 7-4. She just couldn't get under the ball there.
Yeah, played the ball a little too low for Michigan's liking.
See if they attack Murray once again. Here's Dodson. And it goes off the nets and falls back on their side. And that's going to be a service error. It's 7-6 Northwestern. A little back and forth here. And to serve, it'll be Scotty Johnson, the senior. Johnson serves. It's a little floater. Gathered by Dodson. Set up. And it's dug out by Violet, but it goes on the other side of the court out of bounds, and it's going to be 8-6.
The display at Chrysler Center is showing point Michigan, although it was a point for Northwestern.
And it is Rousseau to serve. Up to Kendall from the back row, and the libero of Northwestern, Stinson, could not get it. It's 8-7 Northwestern.
Yeah, Murray sending that back deep with one of those driving balls like she's been known to do, like she's done so far in this game, to get the point.
Here is Arlette. The high serve. It's powerful, and the spin is too much for Northwestern to handle. And that is going to be, and Arlette is going to tie it up here.
And the set is level once again, 8-8.
Serve. Northwestern has 5 in the back row, preparing for the serve. The serve with great spin. Stinson gathers it. Up, and the spike goes out of bounds. Maddie Chin can't get it down on the Michigan side, and it's 9-8. Michigan 3 points in a row. Here is Outlet to serve, going for third in a row. The serve, the spin again, and it just goes off the hands of Chin. Nowhere for a Northwestern teammate, and it's 10-8. Outlet forces a timeout after the ace. That's 2 aces. And 10-8 Northwestern. 10-8 Michigan. What'd you see there? That was a tremendous. There was some tremendous display of serving from Valentina. From Valentina Outlet.
Yeah, Valentina Outlet immediately comes on, immediately changes the complexion of the game, plays a key role in winning back those 4 points and putting Michigan back in the lead. Shows pretty much immediate transformation, leaves you wondering if maybe she'll be starting out the next game if this continues for the next 4 sets.
Yeah, right now, the spin on her serve is pretty remarkable. Northwestern they're putting 5 in the back row because of the spin and the velocity, but it is, for whatever reason, they just cannot seem to handle the serve. Stinson, I think, is really the only one who's been able to handle it, and of course she is the libero of this team. Start here soon. Northwestern's already back out on the court. They've got their 5 in the back. Out for Northwestern, it's gonna be Avery Hernandez, Lelani Dodson, Sanja Como, Stinson, Chin, and in the front it's gonna be Husaman and Valentina Outlet will serve once again, going for Michigan's 5th straight point. Crowd waving the pom-poms in anticipation. Here's the serve, throws it up high, and gathered by Stinson, up and on the Michigan side, up for Murray, and she can't get it over the net. 10-8, 10-9.
Humphrey set up Murray quite nicely, but unfortunately she wasn't able to follow through with the spike.
Substitutions here. Carly Greskovich is in for Outlet. Outlet at this point might be a service specialist. Navarrete to serve. Little floater. Up, and a block by Northwestern, Sanja Como. It's 10-all here. Navarrete to serve once again. Michigan for Niambio, and it's saved by Northwestern. Michigan doesn't let it go out. Murray the spike, and they are going to rule. It's going to be a point for Michigan. We will get the ruling on that in a second. It's going to be a point for Michigan, 11-10. Calling a block error by Maddie Chin. I wonder if she touched the net.
And it looks like Brooke Humphrey is going to give us the serve.
Humphrey the serve, and it goes out of bounds. Great judgment call by the libero, Ellie Stinson, to let that go out of bounds. 11-11. Here is Stinson to serve, to break the tie. Goes right for Kendall Murray and Carly Greskovich, and it just falls behind both of them. And that's going to be an ace. 12-11.
Yeah, Northwestern regaining the lead after some time in the passenger seat.
and they go right for the freshman Greskovich again, and it's going to be a passing error, and it's 13-11. Greskovich is going to have to bounce back here. Stinson to serve, goes for Greskovich again, and she makes a smart play. She lets it go out of bounds. Way to bounce back, Carly Greskovich. 13-12.
Yeah, requires quite a lot of intelligence to just have the intuition for when the ball is going to go out of bounds, when to not lay a hand on it, when to not result in a point. That was a good judgment call. Minimize some of the damage, and now Michigan is going to get the ball back.
The serve, Cochran. Up to Northwestern, dug out by Cochran, but just couldn't get enough on it. And it's 14-12. They wipe the floor. Drew Wright to serve. Goes Murray, the tip, and could not be dug out by Drew Wright. 14-13.
This has been a very volatile game. The lead changes pretty frequently. No team has really pulled away decisively. They're very close. There's not a lot separating either of them.
Here's Kendall Murray to serve. Western overloading the far side. Kendall Murray, and it hits the nets and cannot get over. That's going to be a service error. It's going to be 15-13. Julia Sangiacomo to serve. To Cochran. Up to Boney and blocked by Northwestern, but it goes out of bounds. 15-14.
Jackie Boney looks like she's going to be serving up the ball for this one.
Here is Boney. The serve. Northwestern's got it. Blocked by Michigan. Up to Howlett, and Northwestern blocks it. And what a block by Northwestern. I believe that was Alexa Rousseau and Ellie Husman. 16-14. Here is Dodson to serve. Goes after Murray. It's a bad pass, and Michigan can't save it. 17-14 Northwestern.
Which may actually be the biggest lead of the game so far, a 3-point lead.
Yeah.
Very
Believe
frequent
you're right.
lead changes.
Michigan's going to have to call a timeout. Now, what did you see in those last few points? Kind of, I mean, how is Northwestern able to pull away a little bit?
Well, I think I'll give a lot of credit to the performance of Ellie Stimson. She seems to have really organized that team well. She's very rarely caught out of position. She's always getting to that ball. She shows a lot of grit, a lot of dedication. She seems like a natural libero, a natural leader for that team. And I'll credit a lot of their success to her.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And on the other side, for Michigan, what have you seen that they could potentially improve on? And I mean, what could they possibly be talking about in that huddle? I assume, maybe communication. There were a couple communication errors.
Yeah. There was, like, for example, the one ball that was driven a little close to the ground. That, I think, is an example of a communication fallout. Then, in the case of Kendall Murray specifically, while her spikes and attempts at kills have been a driving factor for Michigan's success, at the same time, they have looked a little sloppy at times. Sometimes they miss the mark. I think Michigan's serves haven't been the issue. Those have been consistently strong. But I do think that there's a bit of sloppiness, a bit of communication in returning the ball, and especially organizing on that side of the court.
Yes. Absolutely. Michigan will have to get that organization better. They're going to come back in this game. Northwestern serving. It'll be Lauren Carter, sophomore setter. Hard to serve with the right hand. Goes after Murray. Johnson up to outlet, and it's blocked by Northwestern. Ellie Husman. Wow. Oh, and correction, they're actually going to say Northwestern touched the net. It is 17-15. My mistake. Scotty Johnson serve. The senior setter. Serving with her left hand. Floats it up there. Northwestern's got it. That spike and off the hands of Johnson. It's going to be 18-15.
Johnson tries her best to got it, but you get the sense that maybe that play would have been better off if she just dropped back and waited for the ball to come to her a bit rather than just sticking out from the position that she was in.
Here is the serve. Up to Niambio, and it goes out of bounds. 19-15. Michigan a little bit on their heels here.
Yeah, this is the first time that a team maybe has control of the game on either side.
Rousseau to serve. Humphrey up, and Michigan gets it over. Attempted spike by Hernandez, and they are going to call Michigan for a net violation. It's going to be 20-15.
Yeah, there's been a lot more sloppiness. There's been struggles blocking. These past few plays have not been desirable if you're a Michigan fan.
Absolutely not. It's Rousseau to serve. To Humphrey. Up to McBurrows, and off the forearms of Stinson. 20-16, Michigan's first kill in a while. And here is Valentina Vaulet to serve once again. Western has all their players in the back except for one. The serve, it's a powerful one, and hits the ref on the way to an ace. 20-17. Wow. Outlet is just a fantastic server. Valentina Outlet to serve. And out of the reach of the arms of Stinson, and it's another ace, 20-18. And she forces Northwestern to call timeout again. We are seeing a special server here.
Exactly. Valentina Valles serves. Every single time she's gotten the ball, they've had purpose, they've had direction. They've generated a further attacking performance.
Yeah, and Northwestern knows it's coming. There's 5 in the back, but it doesn't matter. Just perfectly placed, so precise, and just the velocity makes it almost impossible. It's almost, I compare it to a 100-mile-per-hour fastball in baseball. It's so hard to hit, and gives you have so much more room for error when you get that type of velocity on your serve. And 2 aces in a row, and Michigan's right back in this thing, 20-18.
As the timeout is ticking to an end, 9 seconds left. We have a decent amount of time left in this set.
2018. It'll be Outlet to serve. And the serve, and it goes off the net and down on Michigan's side. That's going to be a service error. It's 21-18.
Mistakes like that should be easily avoided if you're a top-level team, if you're a Big Ten team.
And here is Navarrete to serve. Michigan, Kendall Murray from the back. Tipped up by Northwestern. They gather it. San Giacomo blocked by Niambia. Up for San Giacomo again. Dug out by Michigan. Stinson a dig. And Northwestern can't do anything with it. 21-19. That was quite the rally. Brooke Humphrey to serve. Just a reminder, sets are up to 25, win by 2. The serve right to Northwestern. Up for San Giacomo. The spike, the block by Jackie Boney. And it's 21-20. Michigan slowly creeping back.
The blocks are getting better. There's been a little less sloppiness on these past few sequences of play. I definitely think it's a bit of a turning point for Michigan.
Here's Humphrey, and it's an ace in between the Northwestern defense, and this game is tied up. Brooke Humphrey. Here comes Humphrey once again. Here comes the serve. Northwestern has it up for Hernandez, and it's saved by Humphrey. Kendall Murray is going to set it over the net for Stinson, for San Giacomo. Tipped by Michigan, saved by Humphrey. Kendall Murray going for the save. Michigan back over. And here comes Northwestern up. And what a dig by Humphrey. Going to Murray on the far side, and the block by Northwestern. Dug out by Michigan, and they get it back over. The block by Northwestern. What a rally. Michigan's got it. Tipped up to Northwestern. A dugout again. The tip by Northwestern. Saved by Michigan. Murray the tip. Dug out by San Giacomo. The spike. A dig by Scotty Johnson. What a rally here. McBurrows, and she gets the kill. 22-21. What a rally.
That thrilling sequence of play ends in a Michigan point. They held on. They were patient. And that was just a string of mistake-free volleyball. It's really what you want to see from your Michigan fan, and you'd like to see them improve that consistency and maintain that consistency for the rest of the next 4 sets.
That was an incredible rally, and the crowd recognizes it. Michigan takes the lead. 4-0 run. Here's Humphrey once again to Stinson. Up, and Michigan has it, but it'll be a point for Northwestern. Get the ruling. It's going to be a ball handling error by Brooke Humphrey. And here is Stinson, 22-22. Up for Murray, the hit. Tipped by Northwestern, saved by Stinson. Up for San Giacomo, tipped by Boney. Michigan's got it. Up for McBurrows, tipped by Northwestern. Set over by Boney. Northwestern sets it over quick. Michigan, McBurrows, the tip by Northwestern. Saved by Greskovich. Murray has it. Michigan trying to get it over, but goes under the nets. And it's going to be a point for Northwestern. 23-22. And it's going to be a timeout, Michigan. Wow. It has been a chaotic few points here.
Yeah, it's been a really exciting game so far. A great set. Lots of lead changes. Lots of not too many extended rallies, but I think that one more than made up for it.
Absolutely. That was, I mean, that is a rally that later could potentially be going on Twitter, and that could go viral. I mean, that was just one of the greatest rallies I've seen live. And I mean, in this timeout, this has been a hard-fought set, and how key is it for? I mean, Michigan hasn't won a set in like 3 weeks. I mean, how important is this set? How demoralizing would it be if they lose this set?
You would think that if they lose the set, they'll think, well, okay, we can score 22 points, do that, and still lose, then how are we ever going to win? Which is why they need to win on the set.
And Northwestern digging around the full 60 seconds here for the timeout. Michigan looking to break the serve of Stinson. Maybe doesn't serve the hardest ball, but she's very smart with it. Here is Stinson. To serve, goes after Murray. Pass to Johnson to Boney, the tip. Dug out by Stinson. Set over by Northwestern. Humphrey sets it to Murray. The attempted spike blocked by Dodson. Up to San Giacomo, and it's out of bounds. An attack error by San Giacomo, and it's all tied up at 23. And to serve, it'll be Maddie Cochran. Junior defensive specialist. The serve on the right side. Mistake by Northwestern. And that's going to be a kill for Jackie Boney. Goes right into the hands of Navarrete, but she couldn't pass it to a teammate. It's 24-23, and this is your first set point of the match. The crowd is waving their ping pom-poms, and here we go. The serve comes from Cochran in the middle to Stinson. Going to San Giacomo, and it's out of bounds. Michigan wins their first set in 3 weeks, and wow, 1-0 Michigan, and what a set.
Absolutely, yes. It had it all. There was plenty of scoring, plenty of great defensive blocks as well. Both liberos played a key role in their team's success. There was surprise performances by substitutes. Really, I don't know what you could ask for, what else you could ask for if you're a fan of Michigan or a fan of Northwestern or a fan of the sport of volleyball.
Yeah, and I mean, with that, we got a little 3-minute break. We will be back in a few moments with Tim DeGrand on the call. So I will take a break here. We'll get Tim on the call.
And we are back. It is now me, Tim DeGrand, as Kobe mentioned. I'm going to be with you for the next 2 sets, but don't worry, you've not heard the last of Kobe just quite yet. We are entering in about 20 seconds. It's going to be the second set. Michigan won that first one, 23-25. Vihan, how are we feeling about that first set?
I'm feeling good. I think Michigan winning their first set in weeks as well as a very strong offensive and defensive performance, is going to be enough to give them the fire to come in, entering this set as probably favorites to win the set. Can't say they're favorites to win the game just yet, but yeah, it's a good morale boost. There was a lot to like about that first set. A little bit of sloppiness, but I think the positives outweigh the negatives. I think we're in for an interesting set and an interesting game.
Absolutely. And this is a very important game for Michigan because tomorrow, like we've mentioned, number 2 Nebraska coming into town. There's not many easy wins here in the Big Ten with number 1 and number 2 Wisconsin, Nebraska both in here. So a game like this is a great game for Michigan to get some of that momentum on their side, get a win here, steal one away from still what is a better Northwestern team on the year, but they are not flawless. They are not without their cracks in the armor. And I think Michigan did a good job of in that first half, sticking in there, minimizing the mistakes, and being able to capitalize on some of these plays so they're able to keep in that game. And we're going to start off here. Michigan going to be serving Scotty Johnson, 9th all-time on the assist leaderboard here at Michigan. Will be serving off to start this second set. Hopefully we can make this a good 2-0 and cruise our way to a victory about by the time the night is over. It's going to be just a second here. The players are all out on the floor. Some deliberation happening at the referee table. But the ball has been rolled out, and we are going to get going here. Sky Johnson look at send of the way, get a good start here to the second set. Serves it across. Oh, little misstep there by Nebraska Northwestern. They'll get it over the corner. Spike by Valette, not quite through. Great dig there by the Wildcats. And that's going to be a block error against Michigan, blocking it out of bounds, point to Northwestern.
I believe it was Michigan who got the first point of the first set, so it's going to be Northwestern who get the first point of the second set.
Falling a little bit behind, but still early on, no worries quite yet. On the serve for Nebraska, number 22, Julia Sangiacomo. Sends across Kendall Murray, gets that one clean. Spike here by Michigan, not quite getting through there. Looks like a line violation on the Wolverines, so point to Northwestern there. Serve will stay with the Wildcats. If those mistakes have really hampered the Wolverines, not only in the first set, keeping that as close as it was, but all season long, as a serve by 22 gets across there from Northwestern. And Amalia Simon, no, I'm sorry, that was Serena Niambo, gets that one through with her kill, getting Michigan on the board. Now 1-2, still Wildcats' favor, but serve is going back to the Wolverines. 13, Valentina Valouette will be serving this one across. As she sends this one off. The freshman putting some heat behind that one. Northwestern can't quite bring it in. That's a service ace for the freshman out of Argentina. It's hard to remember sometimes that Valentina is only a freshman with how much playing time she's been getting and how good she's looked for this team.
Yeah, we just mentioned that her serves were a key part of Michigan's victory in the first set. She's been dynamic. She's been a breath of fresh air for this Michigan offense, and we look forward to seeing more of her.
As that service fielded cleanly by the Wildcats as Michigan looks to attack it back at them again. Blocked there, but doesn't quite stop the ball as it still finds the floor. Another point to Michigan there. Ball bouncing off the hands of the Wildcats. Still managed to get on the turf. I believe that was number 5, Lydia Johnson, with the kill there. Lydia Johnson, another freshman on this very young team, both a young team and a young coaching staff. A lot of them making impacts here. The score is now 3-2 in favor of the Wolverines. Regain that lead, and Valouette continues to serve with a second service ace of this round. Sorry there. I got so excited I forgot how to talk for a second. And she is someone that just makes that look so easy. She has incredible velocity behind some of those serves there, and it's really hard for the Wildcats right now to be able to get those clean as she serves, looking for her third service ace of this set. Doesn't get it. So there's some fighting at the net, but Michigan gets control of it. Lydia Johnson again putting it over. Wildcats feel that, though, as a spike attempt there, blocked by the Wolverines. And that is number 6. That is Saj McBurrows killing that one with a little two-hand slam over the top. Sorry, that makes the score now 5-2 Wolverines over the Wildcats. After starting off 2-0 down, they've been on an incredible run here.
I think it all goes back to Valentina the spark, the dynamo of this team. Her serves, as you said, she makes them look easy. They're fast, they're elegant, but they also have enough power to float towards the back half of that court every single time.
And that control on the serve is something that Michigan has been lacking this year, because if you go through and you look at a lot of Michigan stats on the year, service aces, kills, blocks, things like that, we're actually pretty tight with our opponents. For example, Michigan on the year, 532 kills, our opponents 537. On the year, 86 service aces, our opponents 83 service aces. Where we fall off is on the errors, the unforced errors. Michigan has 132 service errors on the year as opposed to our opponents only at 107. So we have over 25 more service errors than our opponents. On attacking errors, we have 267 as opposed to 184. So a lot of team, and that kind of goes to show the youth of this team. Those unforced errors, those mistakes, hitting the ball out of bounds, sending it into the net, miscommunications. Those are all things that come with experience and come with chemistry. And this team getting big playing time from 4 freshmen, as you mentioned, Lydia Johnson, Valouette, I believe is also Mick Burrows, and Greskovitz are the other two. Sorry, Lydia Johnson, Morgan Burke, Valouette, and Carly Greskovitz are 4 freshmen getting big playing time here. And when you have those young players, it's hard to get that continuation, hard to get that chemistry in place. So this is a team that has a lot of good signs and is showing some good early tendencies, but they're going to need a few more years to properly boil before they're ready to go.
Absolutely, yes. And you could see some of those service errors in the first half. The first set, they were clamped down. Michigan did clamp down on them a little, but there were still a few signs of that. Hopefully this won't persist. Hopefully it won't remain the case.
And guess what? We clamped down. We won their set. The first set in, I can't even remember the last time I watched the Michigan Wolverines team win the set, but we got it here as Valouette continues her serving dominance. Another heater barely brought in by Northwestern. Sent back to Michigan, who's looking for the spike here. Saj McBurrows almost got it. Ball's going into the first row. Northwestern somehow saves that one and just pushes it across. Humphreys here. Sky Johnson going to set for Nyambo, who hits Northwestern's coach. I believe that's a point to Michigan.
Right away, you could see a different Michigan entering this set than the one entering the first set. They're a lot more confident. They're a lot less scared. And that's shown in the fact that they have 6 points on the board and a 4-point lead.
Point to Michigan because the ball bounced off the blocker's hands. And then starting with those mistakes, Valouette sends one far left out of bounds. That's going to be a point for Northwestern. And the serve will go back to them after a dominant stretch there by the Wolverines. On serve for Northwestern, number 7, Leilani Dodson. Senior out of LaGrange, Illinois, is going to serve this one to the Wolverines, who almost messed it up, but are able to put it over the net. Northwestern returns it. Michigan's able to keep it going. Kendall Murray looking for a kill there. Gets it. Blocked. Was out of bounds by the Wildcats. Another point for the Wolverines.
7-3 now.
7-3 Michigan looking to keep some distance in this one. They've had trouble in close games trying to keep competitive in close games. But if they can get out to a little lead right here, we might be looking pretty good. That's Brooke Humphreys on the serve. Immediately serves it into the net. It's going to be a point for Northwestern. And that is a very brief round for the Wolverines. Serve for Northwestern is coming from number 5, Alexa Rousseau. Serve tight to the net there. Kendall Murray looking for the kill. A little bit short, hits the net, stays on Michigan territory. Another point for Northwestern there. Score is now 5-7. Still Wolverines in the lead, but Northwestern creeping back after that great set we had with Valentina Valouette on the serve. Serve there, field clean by Humphreys, set by Sky Johnson. Kendall Murray looking for it, doesn't quite get it. Northwestern looking to attack their own. Blocked by the Wolverines. And sent across for a great kill there. Number 17, Jack Boney, junior out of Georgia, was a part of the block that kept the play alive and then finished it up just a couple hits later with the kill there, bringing the score 8-5, Wolverines over Wildcats. Served by the Wolverines. Wildcats looking to attack back. Attempt there by number 4, Maddie Chin, but Wolverines held on to it, just going to send it back to their side. this kill by the Wildcats, that one goes through. That's by number 8, Avery Hernandez there, got that one through.
And Michigan's margin has been cut down slightly. It's now an 8-6 lead.
Yeah.
Proof that big leads don't always hold forever in this game.
Chrysler has quieted down now as Gigi Navarrete, number 23, serves it across. Sky Johnson sets for Jack Boney, but that one's blocked back in her face. That was Julia Sangiacomo on this block there. Keeping it tight for the Wildcats, 8-7. Wolverines still leading, but is a lot tighter now. Navarrete still with the serve for the Wildcats. Sends across. Michigan's able to get a handle on Scotty Johnson! Michigan's all-star setter fakes out the Wildcat defense. Looks like she's going to set it. Instead, just slips the ball over the net. For one of her first kills on the night, is now 9-7 Wolverines. Serves come back for Kendall Murray, the star of this Michigan team, looking to serve. Despite how great Kendall Murray is, has struggled with serves. Hasn't had service ace in the last 4 games, as opposed to 10 service errors. Looking to end that streak here. Good serve there. Wildcats going to get a good attack on this one. And that just sneaks inside the boundary. That was Sangiacomo there with a good cross-court kill, just barely sneaking inside that far line.
Yeah, and going back to that earlier move by Scotty Johnson to kill, it was one thing I really liked about it is it was a delicate move. It seemed it was smart. Not the power you associate with spikes traditionally, but it got the job done.
It's a very sneaky play there. As we're back in play now, Wildcats had the serve. Going back and forth now, nice little rally coming up. As that is Sangiacomo again. Not a hard spike, but just finding that soft little spot in the middle of the Wolverine defense. Brings it up to a tie score now, 9-9. As the serve stays with the Wildcats. Number 6, Ellie Stinson, the libero for the Wildcats, serves this one across again. Lower serve is a little bit closer to the net, but the Wolverines still able to get control of it. Blocked back into Wolverine territory by Maddie Chin and Leilani Donson on the Wildcats. Looked like Jack Boney was going to get a shot at that one, but the Wildcats stepped in there and said, not today. Scores now at 9-10. Wildcats have now taken the lead in the second set here. They really need to get this set if they want to keep competitive.
Yeah. If Michigan wins this set, they run the risk of being swept with, because Michigan would then just need a win in the final set to close out the game.
Nebraska themselves, as we mentioned earlier, they've been struggling a little bit too. They're able to win a few days ago against ranked Purdue, which is very impressive. But before that, losses to Michigan State, Penn State, and Wisconsin, all getting swept there. So they're hoping it doesn't happen for them for a 4th time in 5 games. With Michigan, though, we're just glad that we got a set because it's been a rough year so far here. A lot of our production from last year, people like Jess Robinson, May Protovsky, both gone. You have Hannah Grant, who's been out with injury for almost the entire season, who's been holding it down as the libero for the last few years. And you can really see it that they are missing that kind of on-court leadership sometimes. With plays like that last one that Sangiacomo had, just no one in the middle of the court, and was just able to tap it over for an easy point.
Very well said. We are coming back from timeout, and
service still with Northwestern as they continue this little bit run they have to counter Michigan's early dominance in this set.
Looks like it's going to be Ellie Stinson serving up the ball for Northwestern.
Still with Stinson on the serve as Michigan looks ready. Not ready to give up quite yet. As Chrysler is trying to come back alive. Will their girls to a victory here? Serves across, fielded clean. Sky Johnson with the set. And like clockwork, Jack Boney comes in. Had a few missteps earlier, but that one was a dominant kill, tying it up at 10s. And that's as textbooks as you get it. Field the serve, bump set spike, and that was a wonderful kill there by Boney, who will now serve on the Wolverines. Good serve there, field by the Wolverines. That spike is dug out by Boney.
Yeah, you don't really need to overthink it. Just know the space, isolate your space, lock it down. There's your kill.
There's kill. And speaking of kills, there's one for Valette able to just sneak it right over that net there. A diving attempt by the Wildcats couldn't help dig that one out. It is now 11-10. Wolverines over Wildcats as Boney's still on the serve. Sends it across field by Stinson. Little fake out there by the Wildcats. Michigan handled it very well. Little miscommunication there between Sky Johnson and Niambo. Wildcats now looking for a kill. Not getting it. It's another good rally here. It's been going on for a while now. Valuette looking for a kill. Gets blocked back. Ends up bouncing out of bounds. That's going to be a point for the Wildcats, tying it back up at 11. There's been some really good rallies in this game.
Yeah. It's especially the one in the first set was what caught everyone's attention, but both teams have had spells where they were just able to keep the ball up in the air, be creative, be a little sneaky with it. It's made for some entertaining volleyball.
Freshman Drew Wright for the Wildcats served that one across. Wolverines sent it back, but that was blocked very expertly by the Wildcats as a diving save there by Maddie Cochran ultimately proves listless as the Wildcats are able to stop the attack, return with their own, and score the point there. It is now 12-11 Wildcats as we still have Wright on the serve. Michigan, Sky Johnson with the set. Valette, that one out of bounds. Was hoping that was maybe off the Wildcats, but no, it just ends up being a little bit wide left there. 13-11 Northwestern over Michigan as a timeout is called on the floor. No, I'm sorry. As a review is being carried out right now to see if it did bounce off the Northwestern blockers or if it was just, in fact, out of bounds. Ruling on the floor was out of bounds. They're going to see if it was clipped by the Northwestern blockers there. Just a reminder, make sure you're subscribing right here on WCBN Sports so you're catching all of our broadcasts. I will be back here tomorrow for that Northwestern game. It's an 8:30 tip-off, so we'll be back for that. And it's about to become very busy here on the channel as we're entering both hockey and basketball season for the men's and women's teams. All that's starting up within this next month, so I'll be here calling games. Vihan, Kobe will all be here calling games, and our other wide variety of personalities will be carrying you through most of Michigan's winter sports action, so make sure you're subscribing right here to get notified of that. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram so you're seeing all those updates as well. And make sure you're supporting us because we are a fully student organization here who are just trying to figure out our way through this sports broadcasting world, having a lot of fun with it. So any listen, any support we have, we really greatly appreciate it as this challenge is still going on. Vian, how have you felt about these last couple of points here as the momentum has swung greatly from Michigan back to Northwestern? What do you think Michigan's have to be doing to kind of stem that tide?
Now I think it's kind of in the middle. I think both teams have kind of had sequences where they look a little sloppy and where they look a little dominant. I think Northwestern holds a narrow lead, but I could very easily see it changing soon. As for what Michigan I think needs to do better is just improve the quality of their blocks. The serves are good. Michigan has not had a single bad save. There were a couple of serving errors in the first set, but apart from that, genuinely great sequence of serves.
As you might have seen in the scoreboard, that call was reversed. It was, in fact, out of bounds on the Wildcats, so is now even at 12 as Sky Johnson serves for the Wolverines. Great block there by McBurrows and Niambo. Northwestern just sends it across, not much of an attack. Sky Johnson sets it for Valette. Gets blocked back, but she bounces it up, keeps it alive. And as McBurrows sends it back over, Northwestern's able to handle it. Blocked by Niambo, and that's a point for the Wolverines. What were we just talking about? Blocked, and Niambo there comes up, makes a great block on Sanji Como's attempt there to get the point. Sanji Como's had a great game for herself so far, so being able to stem that tide, kind of cut her momentum off is a great help. This now stands at 13-12 for the Wolverines as Johnson serves again. A low serve there, barely dug up by the Wildcats. And that one gets through the Wolverine defense. Niambo almost had herself a second block, but the ball is just able to squeak its way in between her hand and the top of the net. Falls on the Michigan side. Sanji Como now will serve for the Wildcats as it's tied up 13-13 here in the second set. About halfway through now. As a serve there Brought in pretty nice set by Johnson, spiked by Niambo, fielded by the Wildcats. Return, a great dig there by Kendall Murray. Brooke Humphreys runs out almost into the bleachers to try to save that one, but ultimately proves fruitless as the ball hits, and as a point for the Wildcats, now 14-13 in favor of Northwestern. Serve stays with Julius Sangiacomo.
Yeah, that one looked like it was just going a bit too far out of reach for the Wolverines to do anything with it. Northwestern, a hard-earned, well-fought point.
It's a great effort that you cannot dock Michigan for giving their absolute all every time they step out there. Serve was fielded great by the Wolverines, sent back now. Nebraska with attack of their own. Blocked by McBurrows again. And that attack is out of bounds by the Wildcats. Point Michigan. It's a great job there knowing that one's going to go long, just letting it fly. As now Valette comes up for her second serving of this set. Her first one, remember, had those 2 service aces. This one almost takes off the arm of of Northwestern's libero. Another block by Niambo as Northwestern sends it back across. Now set by Johnson. And that spike attempt by McBurrows was blocked by number 8 on the Wildcats, Avery Hernandez. Point Northwestern. Serve goes back to them as they lead 15-14 here in the middle of the second set. Serve here by Northwestern will be number 7, Leilani Dotson. As both teams here are jockeying for position, no one team able to establish too much dominance or get too much of a role here.
Yeah, the closest we got to that was Michigan's good run of play at the beginning of the second set.
That 4-point lead where they have is about the biggest lead of this set so far. As this rally continues, Sky Johnson sets it, looking for Kendall Murray, who gets the kill. Again, just that beautiful little loft of the ball. Up and over, not trying to spike it through the earth, not trying to force it through anything, just seeing where there's empty space, seeing where no one's in position, and just setting the ball on its path there. Tied up now at 15 as Brooke Humphrey, the libero in place of Hannah Grant, who's still out injured, serves the ball across. Ooh. A sneaky spike attempt there by Northwestern. Doesn't work, but Kendall Murray's does, because she's just that good, just that dominant, and gives Michigan the lead again. You know, Kendall Murray has really stepped up here this year. Last year, she got a lot of playing time, but wasn't counted as to be the leader of this team. This year, like we said, lots of departures from last year's class, and she has stepped up in that leading role. As that serve by Humphreys sails far out of bounds and is a point for Northwestern, ties up the game at 16 again.
Absolutely, yeah. Murray, one of the names that seems dialed onto this team sheet at this point, one of, if not the most important player in this Michigan team functioning, and she's had a good game today so far.
She has had a good game as Northwestern serves it, and that is another point for Kendall Murray as she sends a spike off the outstretched hands of the Northwestern blockers. Ball falls out of bounds as another point for the Wolverines, making it 17-16. So just this little inching back and forth with each other. One team trying to take it, other team comes right back and gets that. As the serve here by Maddie Cochran results with a Northwestern point on their following attack. This has been about the last probably 4 or 5 points now where Michigan takes a 1-point lead, Northwestern ties it right back up, and they just keep stepping up. It's 1 step forward, 1 step backwards right now, as that was Gigi Navarrete on the serve for Northwestern. Northwestern looking to attack again. Blocked there by Boney. Northwestern looking to send it across. Sangiacomo does, but Michigan returns it, and Scotty Johnson gets her second kill of the day. Again, Sky Johnson, her game is assists, her game is sets, but every now and then she finds herself in position up there at the net with a big wide open hole in the middle of the court and is able to capitalize on that. She has now 2 kills and 17 assists on the night. Next highest Wolverine has 2. Kendall Murray on the serve here. Northwestern with a great attack there, but dug out by the Wolverines. A attack there by Valette. Northwestern with a hand. San Giacomo sends one over. Dug out with a diving by Maddie Cochran. As Kendall Murray is unsuccessful on her spike. That one was lofted over into Michigan territory. Grabbed it. Boney just pokes it over. Northwestern looking for the spike. 17. Kennedy Hill hits the net. And that one was a point for Northwestern. Jock Boney was right there for the block, but unfortunately couldn't quite send it back towards Northwestern. Ricochets off, out of bounds, out on Michigan. It's a point for Northwestern. Again, another instance where Michigan takes that 1-point lead. Northwestern just comes right back with the tie. As it is Elle Stinson with the serve there. Looking at Valette spike here. Doesn't quite make it through. Northwestern also doesn't. Great dig there by Cochran. She's had a lot of great those today. And Valette comes up short on that one, hitting the net. Point for Northwestern.
And the underlying statistics suggest that Michigan has been the more efficient team overall with 28 kills compared to Northwestern's 18. And hitting at a higher percentage of .213 compared to Northwestern's .179.
But again, with that us having more kills than the Wildcats, a lot comes to errors like that one right there. Sky Johnson had some miscommunication with Jack Boney. Set the ball great, but Jack mistimed it, and the ball ends up just falling harmlessly to the ground. It's another point for Northwestern, up 20-18 as we take another short break here. So you do bring up a good point. Michigan does a lot of games they end up out-killing their opponent, which, by the way, I love volleyball terminology that you can say out-kill and not get put on some kind of watch list for it. But they're out-killing their opponents in most of these games. Right now it's 28-10 on the kills, as we just mentioned. But that also does speak to the fact that there's just so many errors that we have. Like the one just had with Sky Johnson, a couple service errors that Northwestern hasn't really seemed to have many of. And that's what allows teams like Northwestern to stay in games. Because when you allow teams, middle-of-the-road teams like Northwestern, it lets them stay in games. Top-of-the-line teams like Nebraska and Wisconsin, they will capitalize and they will punish you for those mistakes, which is what we saw with that Wisconsin game. The most points Michigan had in any set was 15. They lost 13-25, 15-25, and 14-25. And if they can't turn it around, they're looking at a very similar result tomorrow against Nebraska, who, lest we forget, sold out 90,000 seats for a volleyball game earlier this year. And that was not just, and that's not just because they forced 90,000 people to go. They sold it out because of how good that team is, how fun they are to watch, and how dominant they have been. And they're rolling in here to Chrysler tomorrow at 8:30. I will be on the call for that one, so make sure you tune back in. As Elle Stinson sends this one back, Northwestern still leading 20-18. Jack Boney sends that one off the outstretched fingers of San Giacomo on Northwestern as a point for Michigan. For a second, I thought that was just out of bounds, but the refs called it. It was tipped by the Wildcats. Serve will now be for Jack Boney, who's had a on and off second set here. That serve actually hits the top of the net, but still manages to make it over. As San Giacomo gets hers blocked by Niambo and Johnson. But that one does make its way through. It's another point for Northwestern. I believe that was number 5, Alexa Rousseau on that one.
Yeah, a decent number of Michigan's kills have come off errors by Northwestern. And as you said, Wisconsin didn't allow that. Nebraska just won't allow that.
So it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. This next serve by Northwestern on the return by the Wolverines. Niambo's spike attempt was blocked back into Sky Johnson's face. She seems to be okay, though. Michigan's team, however, is not, as they're now down 3, 22-19, as the serve stays with number 2, Drew Wright, for the Wildcats. A little bit of miscommunication there by the Wolverines, but they're able to get the ball across thanks to Valette. And that return by the Wildcats sails far out of bounds as Michigan's able to capitalize on that error. Score is now 20-22 as Scotty Johnson, one of the more reliable servers that Michigan has, maybe not getting as many aces as someone like a Valette, but she's very reliable in her serves, makes very few mistakes. And she hopefully, with this come around on the serving docket, will be able to get something going for Michigan. Niambo with the kill there.
I am curious as to when we're going to get our next save from Brooke Humphrey, another one of the team's better servers.
Yeah.
It's been quite some time.
Absolutely. A great point there, thanks to Niambo, who, as Northwestern was looking to set that one, she just reached across the net and said, nope, no thank you, and just interrupted their process. Was able to score a point for the Wolverines. Score is now 22-21 as we have about a minute left in this break and as the band plays Duel of the Fates. Michigan Volleyball Band does make their appearance at most of these games, especially the ones at Chrysler. And they do go a long way in helping to keep the energy and the atmosphere up for all these games. They will also be at every basketball game that we'll have this season, every home hockey game that we will have, and of course for the remainder of our home football games, they will travel to Michigan State. The band is a great part here at the University of Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. The student section would be significantly less electric without their presence, and all Michigan fans are grateful.
It's all one and the same. The band feeds off the energy from the student section. The student section gets a clap and cheer and sing along to a lot of stuff the band plays. Currently, they are having a little bit of a reprieve with an away game last week and this week. They only traveled to Michigan State and Ohio State, so they've been able to kind of rest up from their 4 shows they've had the first 4 weeks of the season. But I know that when they come back for, I believe it's Indiana, next Saturday, they're going to have a great show planned for you. So if you're able to make it to the stadium, make it there. If you can't, though, they do post everything on their own YouTube channel, so make sure you go check that out. I was a member of the Michigan Marching Band for 4 years here, so I always like plugging them whenever I get a chance. But we are now returning to the action again, 21-22. Michigan down by 1 as Sky Johnson continues to serve for the Wolverines. And that's a great spike there by number 7, Leilani Dotson for the Wildcats. Nebraska scores again, is now 23-21. Northwestern needs just 2 points to close out this set and tie it back up at 1-1. As it is Julia San Giacomo on the serve here, has 8 kills on the night leading her team. As Sky Johnson sets it for Saj McBurrows, who gets the kill. Blocking error by the Wildcats, now 22-23. Valentina Valette on the serve. This is a great time for one of her patented service aces, as we need about 3 straight points to end this out. There's a great serve there. Sends Stinson to her knees. A great attack there by Avery Hernandez for the Wildcats, but Michigan's able to return it well. A little bit of chaos on the Wildcat side as Julia San Giacomo sends that one long, out of bounds. Point for the Wolverines, tied up at 23. Valette still on the serve. And we need a big 2 points here. If we go up to 2-0, it's a very good chance of Michigan coming with a win. But if it comes back to 1-1, it's right back at square one. And Michigan's going to have a lot of fight.
A 2-0 lead is all about confidence.
Exactly. And we're looking to get that here. Unfortunately, not good and well as that serve by Valette goes long. Point goes Northwestern. Northwestern at the set point. Kari Greskovitz checks in, hoping to give Valette a little bit of a breather here because we're going to need her in this 3rd set. But Northwestern here will look to end it on this play. As number 10, Lauren Carter, comes in for the Wildcats to serve. 23-24, just 1 point needed for the Wildcats. Here comes the serve. Served it into the net. Michigan stays alive, 24-24. Now, as a reminder out there, the volleyball games aren't just 2-25, it's 25 and win by 2. So Michigan needs 2 straight points here. And if it just keeps going back and forth, we could be getting up to scores in the 30s pretty soon, given how this goes back and forth. Brooke Humphrey serves, looking to end this set here. Still get that 2-0 lead here. Michigan back in the attack now. Blocked by Northwestern. 17, Kennedy Hill on that one. Northwestern regains the advantage.
And the score Michigan's going to need to win now is 27-25.
Michigan needs either another lucky break or needs another great play here.
Northwestern 1 point away from sealing it.
As Alexa Russo will make the pivotal serve. Chrysler getting loud. And as a service ace by Rousseau. That set goes to Northwestern. We're now tied up at 1-1. We will be going to a fourth set. But who will have the advantage? We'll come back in just a few minutes. We're taking now the 5-minute intermission between the second and third sets as both teams head off to the locker rooms. Michigan, hopefully they can figure out what went well, what went wrong for them in that set, so we can capitalize on this third set, regain that lead, and sink our third win of the season that we so desperately need.
Absolutely, yes. And it can be argued that that break towards the end, in which Northwestern weren't able to kill it off at 24, was largely a product of luck and their own service error. Michigan, good performance on the offensive in the second set, but they need to be better on defense.
Absolutely. There's been just a few too many missed blocks going off the hands, just not being in position on the defensive side. At this time, we'll give a quick little stat update. Kendall Murray leads Michigan with kills, having 9. Right behind her is Jack Boney, who has 6. Sajmi Burrows also has 6. Scotty has 2. And Serena Nyambo has 4 with her. Leading with assists, who else? Scotty Johnson has 19 assists, as Carly Greskowitz has 2, and Nick Burrows has 1. Sajmi Burrow also has 2 blocks right now. Boney and Nyambo both have 1 apiece. Meanwhile, on the Wildcat side, Julia Sangiacomo has 8 kills on the night, 2 blocks and 1 assist, while Alexa Rousseau has 1 kill, that service ace, has 3 blocks and 11 assists on the night. So Michigan right up there with numbers 2. Again, 31 kills as opposed to 20 for Northwestern, 34 digs out of 29 for Northwestern, and has 2 more aces, 7-5 over the Wildcats. It's just those in between, those mistakes, the defensive misplacement that's really punishing them right now. As the local dance team has just performed for the halftime show, it's always great to see these high schools and youth groups coming in to perform.
Yeah, also always great to see high school teams seated in the stands watching these games.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully become the next generation of great Michigan Wolverines. Well, this is going to end my involvement for now. I will be handing the headset back off to Kobe Siegel, but do not be worried. I will be joining you again for the fourth set, which it is confirmed will be happening with the 1-1 scoreline. We will at least have a fourth set, and I will likely be joining you for the fifth set as well. So don't go anywhere. We have yet another, I'm sure, exciting, at least 2 more exciting sets of Michigan volleyball, and stay tuned as I pass the headset on to my colleague, Kobe Siegel.
Hello, Tim.
Hello, Kobe. How we doing?
I am fantastic. I watched a fantastic second set commentated by a fantastic crew.
Oh, stop it. You're going to make me blush. About 1:45 left here in the break. Kobe, obviously you were on a mic for that one, but you're still here watching it with us. What are your key aspects? What have you noticed? Anything particular that we haven't mentioned, or anything that you just feel like the people should really focus on?
Well, I'm sure you guys have mentioned it, but Valentina Aulette, I mean, her serve is just fantastic. If she keeps it in, she is certainly an X factor for this team. And Jackie Boney and Serena Niambio, the middle blockers, have been pretty good so far. But I want to see Serena Niambio a little bit more involved in the game. She seems to have been I don't know if it's intentional, but she seems to be not as involved as she usually is.
I will say with Niambo, she is I believe Niambo is coming off of an injury. She did miss a few games in there. I believe that was Niambo. Let me double check my notes real quick. We got a lot of notes here. Yeah, Serena Niambo, I was right. That was her. She went down with an ankle injury in the Michigan State game, and her game against Wisconsin was her first game back. So there is still probably some of that, knocking the rust off, kind of still healing a little bit maybe. But as you mentioned with Violet serves, I'm getting really concerned for Ellie Stinson of the Wildcats.
God.
She's the one that usually the liberos usually ones that kind of like eat those serves up. And there's been a couple times where it's looked like her arm was about to get pulled off by that serve. Violet put some serious velocity on the serves. It's very reminiscent of May Pertovsky, who was with Wolverines last year, who also had some killer serves. So it's good to see that we still have that just beast of a server.
Yeah, and Stinson's forearms are going to be extremely sore tomorrow, guaranteed. But yeah, I mean, if Michigan, both these sets within 2 points, going down to the final points. So, I mean, I expect the same thing for the third set.
It's been a very exciting game so far. There's been a couple of great rallies, some great interactions going on. As we start this third set, on the floor for the Wolverines, Saj McBurrows, Serena Niambo, Kendall Murray, Brooke Humphreys, Valentina Valette, and Scotty Johnson. As Northwestern has the served by San Giacomo. Sent across there by Valette, returned well by Northwestern, blocked by Valette, and that's going to be Michigan leading that point. We've seen first set, Michigan scores first, they win. Second set, Northwestern scores first, Northwestern wins. Hopefully this means Michigan's going to be looking good for his third set.
Yeah, I mean, and now look who we got serving.
Speak of the devil, Valentina Valette on the serve. Great return there by Northwestern. Set by Sky Johnson looking for Kendall Murray. Kendall Murray just doesn't get quite enough on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that play is a play that Kendall Murray has to make, especially when you have Valentina serving. You need to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, you can't be letting those opportunities slip by. Serve goes back to Northwestern 1-1. It's going to be Leilani Dotson on the serve. He does a good job. This is going to be Saj McBurrows on the spike. Dug out there by San Giacomo. Sent back across by Northwestern. Going to try that one again and again. That one actually bounced off of San Giacomo so hard it came back to the Wolverines. Third time there was the charm for Saj McBurrows, as that one's able to score for the Wolverines. Little confusion as the ball didn't actually hit the ground there. I believe there's a violation on the Wildcats.
Yeah, and the libero Stinson from Northwestern back in the game. Wasn't in for the first 2 points, and I think it showed on that last point.
Yeah. Brooke Humphreys now serving for the Wolverines and hits the net there. Service error. That was a point for Northwestern. Ties back up at 2. Humphreys has had a lot of struggles with her serves in this game. I don't know what that has to do with. Maybe there's adjustments she needs to be making, but that's the second time now she's hit the net.
Yeah, and I mean,
served there by Alexa Rousseau on the Wildcats. Michigan was able to send it back across, but Northwestern ends up being able to capitalize on that one, getting the point.
And that's back-to-back attack errors by Kendall Murray. She is so crucial for this team. If Kendall Murray's not going to be on the top of her game, then Michigan's going to have a very tough time.
Serve again by Rousseau. Greskovitz will get that one. Going to try again for Kendall Murray. Able to get it across pretty good. Has to make a diving save there by Stinson. And that ball ends up sailing out of bounds. Point for the Wolverines. Tying it back up at 3.
Kennedy Hill in the game for Northwestern. She played a little bit at the end of the second set. It was very impactful, but I think maybe it's a good idea for Michigan to test her a bit.
Yeah. She's been a pretty good presence up by the net, but this is a serve by Maddie Cochran. And Northwestern looks to return, but that's a great block by Boney. A diving save there by Northwestern keeps the ball in play as Sky Johnson sets it for Kendall Murray. Kendall Murray targeting Stinson there. She's able to hold on to that one. As San Giacomo drills Carly Greskovic, ball hits the ground off of her chest, and it's going to be another point for Northwestern. Another kill for San Giacomo, who's that's her 9th of the day, having a great little game for her.
Yeah, and San Giacomo, once she gets going, once she can keep that spike in, it's very tough to return.
Absolutely. Gigi Navarrete serving now for the Wildcats. Sky John sets for Kendall Murray, the best play in the playbook. Doesn't work out. Another diving save by the Wildcats. Greskovic able to handle that one. And Kendall Murray looks to send it across. Again, fielded pretty good by Stinson. Northwestern attack hits the net. Greskovic is going to set for Kendall Murray, who hits it off the top of Hill's hands. Northwestern able to get going. San Giacomo having her spike attempt. Another diving save by Brooke Humphreys. Kendall's attack blocked by Hill. Kendall trying again. Gets it over Hill. Northwestern's still able to field it. San Giacomo's going to try again, and that one's able to make it through. Kendall Murray went for, not Kendall Murray, sorry. Sky Johnson went for the block there. Wasn't able to get all of it, and San Giacomo was able to punch her 10th kill of the night through. It's a very eventful set. There's been a couple of great rallies in this game as Navarrete looks to serve again.
I mean, this is a hard-fought game, back and forth.
Oh, yeah. Navarrete with a serve again. Looking through Boney with another great attempt, but a diving save by Stinson keeps the ball in play. A rocket of a spike by San Giacomo has been brought in by Kendall Murray, whose own attack sails off the hands of Hill and hits the barricade out the back of the court. It's a point for the Wolverines.
It seems like all night it's been back and forth. Murray, San Giacomo, Murray, San Giacomo. That victory goes to Murray.
And you saw it in that last set. There's a big stretch there. It was a tie game. Michigan would take that 1-point lead, and Nebraska, Northwestern immediately ties it back up, and they just walked each other down like that until one was able to separate. That ended up being Northwestern in the last set, but Michigan looks to make that them here. As a great block by the tandem of Valette and Boney are able to stave off the Northwestern attack, tying the game back up at 5 as Kendall Murray continues to serve here. Again, Kendall Murray has not had a service ace in Big Ten play yet, so we're looking to maybe hopefully get one of those here for us. It is not this one, though, as Northwestern has a little bit of struggle with that one, but are still able to get it back to Michigan. Boney fakes out the spike. Valuette tries for it. It's a great block by Northwestern. That was number 4, Maddie Chin.
And with the rotation, Kendall Murray now in the back row on the right side. That's usually Kendall Murray's spot. So, that's something that Michigan's going to have to work through.
Served by Stinson there. Sky Johnson sets it for Valette. Gets it through, but Northwestern still holds on to possession. Who's going to try to attack their own. And that is going to be a failed dig by Cochran. Went to the ground trying to take in the heater that was sent through, but bounces off the right arm into the stands. Is another point for Northwestern. Score is now 7-5 Wildcats.
Back-to-back points by Maddie Chin.
The serve there by Stinson. Hits the top of the net, barely creaks over. Lomas was really bad there for Michigan, but diving save was able to keep it. As that block by Valuette scores Michigan another point. Oops. Valuette, I think I was kind of mentioning the Vihan in the last set, but you kind of forget that Valentina Valuette is only a freshman.
Yes.
She's one of 4 freshmen who's getting some pretty good minutes, but she's looked like just a part of this team with her great service. She's been a great presence up at the net, especially on defense. And she's definitely going to be a mainstay of this team for years to come, as Boney has a serve there. San Giacomo couldn't get that one through, and Kendall Murray's trying to get her own, but puts too much on it and sends it out the back, out of bounds. 8-6 Wildcats as Humphreys checks back in for Boney.
Yeah. Kendall Murray in the back row. She has to take advantage of those hits. She's not the best at returning.
Yeah. Right on the serve there for the Wildcats. Almost a terrible miscue there by the Wolverines, but they were able to somehow get the ball back over the net. Diving dig there by Sky Johnson, keeping it alive. Blocked there by Valuette, keeps it in there. Another great dig by Kendall Murray, set by Humphreys. Valentina looking to get it across, does. San Giacomo reels it in. A block by Niambo, but Northwestern keeps it alive again. San Giacomo tries again, and that's blocked by Niambo. Point for the Wolverines. A very eventful rally there, but Niambo is able to block the attack by San Giacomo and keep Michigan in this game.
And credit Kendall Murray. On the serve, a shaky pass, then comes back later, makes a great dig, and I'm just way to bounce back in the same point.
The fact that Kendall Murray almost blew it at the beginning of that rally, but then saved it towards the end there, that's a great way to make up for your mistakes, and she is excellent at that. As Sky Johnson now serves for the Wolverines. Great serve there as San Giacomo looks to attack. Blocked by Saj McBurrows. Try that one again. Blocked again by Saj McBurrows. Another point for the Wolverines. 2 straight points off blocks in a row.
McBurrows and Nyambio, they have been tremendous on that right side working together. The timing was just fantastic there. They're not the tallest, but the timing was great.
That is one part of our defense that has been pretty spectacular. As Sky Johnson serves again. Score is now tied at 8. 2 straight points for the Wolverines. San Giacomo there hits a rocket off of Humphrey that flies out of bounds for the Northwestern point. Well, all good things must come to an end. And that was a very exciting few plays there, but San Giacomo is just that dominant. And even though Humphrey was in the right position, it was just too hot to handle. Bounce out of bounds. And San Giacomo now has the serve. But that can be a curse as too much heat sends that one out of bounds, out the back of the court.
In service errors, they just kill you. I mean, with a serve like San Giacomo, she has to force Michigan to make a pass.
Exactly. But instead of that, she just screws it up, doesn't even let the Michigan have that chance. As that was served there by number 17. No, not by 17. Sorry. That was served by number 19, Maddie Cochran. And that attack goes out of bounds for the Wildcats, a point for Michigan.
And now serving is Valentina Outlet. Kendall Murray on the left side, front row. So this is definitely one of Michigan's best rotations.
A quick break in the action here, as I believe Northwestern is challenging that call, thinking that one was in fact inbounds.
We'll see. I don't know if they show us the replay on the big board. That would be very helpful if they did, but
I don't believe they will. But if this does get turned back around, it's going to be pretty tragic for the Wolverines. Starting to get some momentum, starting to get the lead back. If they get, it's going to be a big momentum swing if this goes back to the Wildcats.
Yeah, I mean,
especially when Valouette's going to be here on the serve.
Yeah, because if Michigan loses this point, Outlet loses that serve.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's been maybe Michigan's most effective offense so far.
Ref still at the table, going over the replay. As the fans in Chrysler cheering for attention, getting put on the big board.
I mean, anytime you're on the big board, it is.
It's just something about being on boards.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, something about being on boards. it is. I mean, it's just exciting. You know, you think you're ready for it, but when you're up on that screen, it's just it changes you.
It's immediate stage fright you kind of get with it.
Yeah. So review's taking a little bit of time here.
It's been a very long review for this one. Score still stands at 10-9 Michigan.
Looks like we're about to get a ruling.
I hope so.
The scores table. Oh, now they're showing a replay, I believe. Or maybe.
The point stands with the Wolverines. So we get to keep Violette's serve. We get to keep the lead. And Chrysler keeps rocking. Taylor Swift in speakers, Taylor Swift in all of our hearts. As Valentina serves it away. A little bit less on that one, kind of faked him out. And a great, what a kill by Niambo. By the way, kind of come off guard, didn't put as much on that one. So Stinson was forced to kind of come up, get underneath it. She pops the ball up right at the net. And Nyambo, with no regard for human life, sends that one 6 feet deep down the pavement. 11-9 Wolverines as Valley has one of her patented spicy serves. And another one for Nyambio before I can even finish updating the scoreboard.
Nyambio is asserting her
said
presence
you
on
wanted
this
to
game.
see her.
Yes.
Here she is. 2 great points.
As a freshman last year, she showed so much potential. Now a chance to get real meaningful action here in her sophomore year. And the last few points, I mean, shows you why Michigan is so excited about the sophomore. Wow.
Now this year has been, being blunt, it has been a disappointing year. 2 wins on the year. It's not been a great year, but it's moments like that when you see the sophomore Nyambo, when you see the freshman Vala on the serve, and you see all this youth that we have with our first-year head coach, assistant coaches across the board. You understand this team has a lot of potential moving forward. This is a team that when this core sticks together, learns how to play with each other, how to complement each other, is going to be an absolutely dominant force in the Big Ten in the next few years. And I, for one, am so excited to see that happen.
Yeah, and one of the strengths of Erin Virtue, she was the leader of the U.S. women's volleyball development team,
Yeah.
and so I mean, developing players is her strength, and I think, for example, a player like Aulette, so talented as a freshman. I mean, she's only going to get better, which is scary for the rest of the Big Ten.
I remember Virtue's only been back with the team for about 2 weeks because she was, before that, was with the U.S. Olympic volleyball team, helping them qualify for the Olympics. So she is a very good coach in her first year here, and we're going to see more of that from here as the timeout by Northwestern ends, and we are looking for Value to serve again. The referees come back and signal, so we will get this serve any second now. Sends it over. Northwestern's going to get a good attack opportunity here. San Giacomo, that one, after a great run by Michigan, Nyambio just misjudges that one on the block slightly, hits off her arm, falls down for a point for the Wildcats. Service by 7, Leilani Dotson, who's serving it for the Wildcats as Michigan still leads by 2, 12-10 here in the third set. That serve there by Leilani hits the top of the net. A great attack there by Sergeant Burrows, blocked by the Wildcats. As the spike there by Avery Hernandez finds pay dirt as Northwestern scores again. Scores now 11-12. Michigan still holding to that lead, but Northwestern, as it's been the case all game, not just this set, but all sets so far, one team takes the lead, the other team slowly chips away at it. As Dotson serves again, Kendall Murray's going to get a good spike here, and does so, killing that defense, scoring for the Wolverines, keeping that lead at 2. It's just clockwork for her.
Run the kill play. That is the kill play. Kendall Murray on the left side, and it works.
She's had so much success there all year, leading team in kills. As Humphrey now, that serve is able to go across and dug an incredible dig on the return from Northwestern. Some little commotion up at the net, and that one falls in Michigan territory as a point for the Wildcats. It was just one of those, both teams have their hands on it at the net, just happened to fall to Michigan's side. Kendall just touched, so she couldn't touch it again, and no one else was in position there. Just one of those unfortunate situations. Serve will now be by Rousseau on the Wildcats. Brought in by Greshkovich. And that's another failed attack by the Wolverines. Jack Boney hits it straight into that Kennedy Hill, Maddie Chin defense.
And Scotty and Jackie talking after the play. I think the communication just wasn't there.
Yeah. And again, that's what we're talking about with this young team. Not a lot of chemistry, still some miscommunications. As Kendall Murray gets her 13th kill of the night, returning the Northwestern serve. I mean, that's about as textbook as you can get it. Serve over, just feel the clean, bumps that spike to Kendall Murray on the left side. There's no more perfect play. Maddie Cochran now coming in to serve for the Wolverines. Great little putback by Kendall Murray. Returned by Northwestern, goes out of bounds. Another point for the Wolverines. 15-13 here in the third set, tied up at 1-1.
Kendall Murray is cooking right now.
Kendall Murray's starting to find that little groove there. There was some iffiness earlier on in this set, but she's kind of found that groove there as Cochran serve. Another great one. But even better spike by Kennedy Hill. Brooke couldn't quite dig that one out. So give me another kill for Hill. That is her 6th on the night. And the score stands at 15-14 Northwestern. Northwestern on serve. That is Gigi Navarrete serving right now for the Wildcats. And that is a service ace for them. Looked like some miscommunication there between Carly Greshkovich and Brooke Humphrey. Both of them kind of went down for the dig. On that one, Carly got to it first, and it ended up bouncing off of her to no man's land. Another point for Northwestern. They're tying it up at 15. As we still have Navarrete serving for the Wildcats as she sends it over here. That one, a little bit of communication. Scotty with the set, and Boney with the kill. A great kill there by Boney.
And Jackie Boney, we haven't called her name that much this game, but that's so important to get her going. Her and Kendall Murray are so key for getting kills.
Boney, the junior, one of the more experienced members on the team as Kendall Murray serves it for the Wolverines. And Kennedy Hill just kind of whiffs on her attack.
Yeah, Kennedy Hill, we've seen either really good or like a really tough play. So it I think after she makes a great play, it's like, why isn't she playing? But I think the consistency just is not there.
She's been great on the blocking side, with a couple blocks to her name. But yeah, that was just kind of a brain fart there. As Northwestern returns the Kendall Murray serve. A great dig there by Brooke Humphrey. Sends that ball 45 feet in the air, and Violette's just going to push that over. Another attack here, blocked by Violette and Boney. San Giacomo tries again, but Kendall Murray digs that one up. Set by Humphrey, and Kendall just pushes it over to Stinson. Spike by Kennedy Hill. We just said her name. Messed up on the last one. This one, she was able to find her way up to that front line and have a clean lane for that kill there, making it 16-17. Still Michigan in the lead.
Yeah, and Kennedy Hill comes out of the game immediately after, but I mean, for the future of Northwestern, she's key.
Ellie Stinson served there for the Wildcats, received by Kendall Murray. Violette on the attack, fielded by San Giacomo. Another great attack there by the Wildcats, blocked by Violette. Kendall Murray there reaching up. And that is a violation on the Wildcats. I'm sorry, violation on the Wolverines. Point to the Wildcats. Ties it back up at 17.
Yeah, Murray being in the back row, she can't hit past the attack line, and I think she just had her foot on the line. She tried at the last second to kind of maneuver around it, but just was not able to, and we are tied here.
There's been a couple of those tonight so far, but not a lot. So it's always kind of a surprise when those come up because you get so focused on the action that all of a sudden you start blowing the whistle mid-play, and you're like, what's going on here? Especially because Kendall is one of those that goes back and forth between the front line and the back line. Tragic misstep there, but it is still tied at 17 all as we are starting to get into the back third of this set. 30 seconds left into timeout. Kendall Murray still leads all players with 14 kills, with San Giacomo behind her with 12. 3 players have 7. It is Avery Hernandez for the Wildcats, has 7. And then both Jack Boney and Sajik Burrows have 7 kills for the Wolverines.
If you're looking for the Wolverines, I mean, Scotty Johnson has just been so consistent. I mean, all season in her career. Today she's got 23 assists, leads the game. I don't. And I don't know if she's left the court the entire time.
No, her, Kendall Murray, they play pretty much the whole game. Violet plays most of the game. Humphrey plays pretty much the whole game.
Boney usually plays.
Boney gets a lot of in. You'll see like Maddie Cochran, Carly Greskovich, Serena Nyambo kind of changing up in there. As Stinson serves again for the Wildcats in this tie game, in this tied set. And that is another point for the Wolverines as Sanji Como's attack goes off Boney's hands, out of bounds. They point for Northwestern. Serve stays with them. Stays with Stinson, the libero. The junior out of Yorktown, Indiana, serves again. That one was brought in by Cochran. Spike here by Boney. Off the hands of Sanji Como. Out of bounds as they point for Michigan. Ties the game back up, and we're entering, again, that stretch where it's one team gets up, the other team ties it immediately. Michigan really should try to get some distance here as Saj McBurrows comes. Is that Saj or is that Mia? I can't tell the number from here. 6 and 8 look very similar, and she has very long hair.
I think that's Mia.
That is number 8. That's Mira Chopra. We haven't seen a lot of her tonight, but she comes in for this serve. Sets the ball now for Valuette, who gets hers blocked by who else but Chin and Dotson.
And Maddie Chin in the sporadic playing time has really asserted her presence, especially when she's on that right side, blocking, attacking.
Absolutely. Maddie Chin also has 24 assists. She's been their main setter today. As Drew Wright for Northwestern serves that one. And a few diving plays saves the return by the Wolverines. Valuable on the attack, and it's a point for the Wolverines. Miscommunication there. Drew Wright got a hand on it at the net, tipped it, changed the direction, and so never ended up being out of position. This is now tied at 19. 19 all. Sky Johnson with the serve here. Yeah, Mira just came. I got confused there because Mira hasn't played at all today. Came in for the one serve and then immediately went back out. But Sky Johnson there with a great serve. Some great defense here by the Wolverines. As Valet with the attack. Northwestern's able to handle it, though, looking to return one of their own. And Leilani Dotson hits that one too far out of bounds. Another point for Michigan. Michigan's now at 20. 20 points with the serve, with Scotty Johnson serving. This is the time where they need to get a couple points here, get some separation as we head into the final 5 points of the set. Really need to not go down 2-1 in the sets here to Northwestern. Really need to keep this advantage, keep this momentum. And Sky Johnson is the girl to have with the ball in her hand in this set. Attack by Dotson, doesn't quite make it through. Set by Sky Johnson, valuable on the attack, and that's another Drew Wright hitting the ball, changing its course of direction, and ends up leaving Northwestern out of position. Michigan scores again, 21-19 now, 4 points away from the set.
And Michigan has kind of their first chance of this set to pull away, and they need to take advantage. Winning this third set is so huge because all the sets have been close. So you just kind of need to get a little bit lucky. You know, hope you get points at the right time, and if they can win a set by a healthy margin, you know, maybe then they can afford to split the next 2 sets. So yeah. I mean, this third set, we can't overstate how important these next 5-10 points will be.
It's a very crucial how this set ends right here. As again, a 2-point lead, 21-19. Wolverines just barely hanging on over the Wildcats. They do still have the serve. Sky Johnson is still there on the serve. And Chrysler's starting to kind of feel that energy too, especially as they play Every Time We Touch on the speakers. An Ann Arbor staple. as a timeout.
An Ann Arbor staple.
Ann
Is
Arbor
it?
staple. Oh yeah, they play all the band plays all the football games.
Really?
They play the basketball games. If you come to a sporting event in Ann Arbor, in Michigan, you will hear them play Every Time We Touch. It is a beloved song here on campus.
I think for Michigan, even if they lose one of these next few points, I believe Aulette will be their next server.
I think you're right. I think she's coming right up soon. But hopefully we can just close it out right here with Scotty Johnson. Great serve there. Right has to go down to her knees to field that one. San Giacomo puts too much heat on that one. Out of bounds, point for Michigan.
Yeah. San Giacomo, when it works, it works.
Yeah.
But when it doesn't work, sometimes it looks a little sloppy, a little out of control. But, I mean, Scotty Johnson just keeps putting it in the court, and it works.
Michigan with a 3-point lead, 3 points away from winning the set. Another serve by Scotty Johnson. San Giacomo is going to try to redeem herself, and does, finding the ground, scoring for Northwestern.
And there's the dichotomy of San Giacomo. Maybe she puts one in the stands, but then she fires a dot right at the corner, and there's nothing you can do about it.
She always comes back. And she will now serve as the Wildcats are trying to save themselves in this set. Kendall Murray fields that one. Going to be a spike here by Saj McBurrows, who sends it into the Northwestern bench across the court. She just didn't get on top of that one enough. Kind of undercut that one. It's going to be another point for Northwestern. This is exactly not what the Wolverines needed right now, with these mistakes letting Northwestern back into the set. Kendall Murray, though, did a great job there. Spiked by Valette. Bounces off of Chin's hands. Out of bounds. Point for Michigan. Now just 2 points away from winning the set. Up by 2.
And look who's coming to serve.
Our favorite, Valentina Valette. He's going to serve this one just 2 points away, hoping to close this one out. A great serve there. Tips top of the net, but stays in. Niambo with the kill there. Went up one-on-one against Rousseau. Rousseau blinked, and Niambo puts that ball on the ground in Northwestern.
Serena Niambio is just so good at those little tips, at those 50-50 balls, and wow.
She's had 3 of them in this set so far. Michigan is now 24-21. This is the set point. Vala on the serve. A great dig there by Stinson. Going to be a spike here by Kendall Murray. And Kendall Murray sends it long out of bounds. A point for Northwestern. Northwestern stays alive in this one.
And the thing is, that's the play you want. A serve Violet, and then you get the potential kill opportunity by Kendall Murray. Just couldn't finish. But now you got 3 opportunities.
Kendall Murray now in the back row. She's got to be careful with that attacking line. Served by number 10, Lauren Carter. She just checked in with 17, Kennedy Hill, for this set point. And that is going to be another point for Northwestern. The control on that serve got away from Carly Greshkovitz, and Northwestern was able to just take advantage and slam that one home.
Lauren Carter has come in a few times at the end of these sets just to serve. So Northwestern clearly likes her serving in these dire moments, and there's clearly something about her serve that Michigan can't really handle, because they lost that point because the serve return, they returned it right away. There was no passing, no opportunity for a kill because of the serve. So Lauren Carter's going to try to do the same thing. Michigan's got to be ready, and that first pass is going to be so key.
Yeah. And as the score is now at 24-23, reminder, with that having to win by 2, Northwestern has to go to 26 points in order to win this one. So they need 3 points to win. Michigan just needs the 1. But of course, if Northwestern gets this point, that bumps up to 2 for both teams.
You want to avoid a situation where you have to win by 2. This is Michigan's chance.
That's what happened in the last set and ended up not working out for the Wolverines. So this time we really need Michigan to come through. Lauren Carter still serving. Kennedy Hill and Drew Wright and Alexa Rousseau up front for the Wildcats. Sky Johnson and Valuette for the Wolverines. Kendall Murray in the back row with Humphreys, with Carly Greshkovich, and with Serena Niambo. Looks like Northwestern's trying to make a substitution, but they won't get it for this play. Never mind, they will. Kennedy Hill coming out for 16. Ellie Hoosman? I apologize. Served by Lauren Carter. Right here. And that's out of bounds. A service error clinches the set for Michigan. Michigan wins the set 25-23. And Michigan takes the 2-1 lead in sets over the game. That was another thrilling end of the set. Michigan ends up getting bailed out a little bit by Lauren Carter, just saying that one too far, and they now go into the fourth set having the advantage, just in this one set to win their first game since September 8th. This is going to be their first win in almost a month, and it's their first win in the Big Ten this season.
Yeah, and I mean, just a tremendous job by the freshman Carly Greshkovich to judge that ball with the game on the line and be correct. And I mean, yeah, this is Michigan's first chance to win in a while. And playing Nebraska tomorrow, that's probably not Diamond. That would be a giant upset if they were to beat Nebraska. So
if we beat Nebraska tomorrow, I don't even know what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I don't even know what's going to happen. I might just burst into flames on the spot. It is going to be, and we might be getting ahead of ourselves, but Michigan has struggled mightily this season against all kinds of teams in all areas of the game. But today, for the first time in about a month, we've been putting it together. We've been winning sets. We've been competing. We've not let our mistakes bog us down. We've been able to capitalize on the other team's mistakes, and we put on a very good performance so far, leading now 2-1 as we continue in about 2 minutes. I hope we don't go to a fifth set, but if we do, I will be back to call that set. Hopefully we won't, though, so hopefully this is the last time you'll hear my voice on the broadcast tonight. Thank you guys so much for listening in. I've been Tim. Reminder to come back here tomorrow at 8:30 for the Nebraska. I keep calling Northwestern Nebraska, and I'm calling Nebraska Northwestern. For the Nebraska broadcast tomorrow, I'll be here doing that with my friend TJ. We'll be calling that game for you. But for tonight, I've been Tim. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope I don't talk to you again, but if I don't, go blue.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I know you probably missed cheering me on, but rest assured, I have returned, and I'm here along with Kobe to bring you what will, if you're a Michigan fan, hopefully be the final set of this Friday night Big Ten volleyball encounter. And we've got 30 seconds left. Kobe, quickly, what are some things that you think Michigan can do to have a less stressful fourth set and close out this game the way they want to?
Well, they need to keep letting Serena Niambo impact the game. Those 50-50 balls in the front of the net, she has been so good, and Kendall Murray has to be able to finish. Kendall Murray just has to be able to finish if Michigan's going to win this game.
And it looks like we are back. We will inform you who is serving the ball as soon as we know. As things stand, it looks like it's going to be Michigan, and it looks like it's going to be Scotty Johnson, as expected. Yes, it is indeed going to be Michigan with Scotty Johnson taking her preferred position in the back, getting ready to serve with the ball. And we are live, and that is going to be some solid defending from the Wildcats. They're going to parry it back over. Michigan's going to block it, send it over the line. Another low block. Wildcats going to parry it. Michigan going to get low to defend that ball. Michigan keeping it up. Back to Northwestern. Michigan keeping it up with a fantastic low block. Michigan, keep it go. And that is going to be Michigan forcing a block from Northwestern. The Wolverines lead early in this fourth set.
Who else but Serena Nyambio? So good in the middle of the court.
Scotty Johnson starts this again. Northwestern peering it back up. They're going to send it over, and it's going to go out of bounds. That is going to be yet another point for the Wolverines.
And the accuracy of Giacomo is going to be so important here. If she's going to do that where she hits it out of bounds, Michigan's in good shape. Northwestern has to have her accurate.
And we're up again. Northwestern parrying it upwards. They're going to send it over. Michigan's going to return it. A little scuffed on there, but it goes out of bounds. That is going to be another point for Michigan to continue this fantastic drive to start out the fourth set.
Yeah, and I mean, Scotty Johnson continuing to serve. And just a warning, after Scotty Johnson serves, it will be Valentina. So get excited for that.
We know we'll be excited. The ball is up again. Northwestern kept it going for a while, but now they're sending it back over. Michigan looking to build some play out from the back. They're going to send it out of bounds again. That is going to be 4 points for Michigan. A big lead for the Wolverines to start out this fourth set.
I think Northwestern might need to call a timeout here. Michigan starting to pull away. Northwestern cannot afford to get down much more. I think they need a timeout.
It's back up again. Northwestern. This time, that is bizarre. They're going to send it right back into their own net. Wolverines, another point, 5-0, and Northwestern are going to do what Kobe said they would do. They're going to call a timeout. You could argue they badly need some readjustments here are of the utmost priority.
Yeah, I mean, Scotty Johnson just kind of letting Northwestern make their own mistakes here, and 5-0 early after 3 very competitive sets is just not a very good sign. Maybe fatigue setting in for Northwestern, but and this time out, Northwestern's just kind of got to calm down. You know, they're okay. These teams that we've seen are pretty even, so Northwestern just got to be confident in their game.
And as for Michigan, I'm sure they're feeling pretty good in their talk, but there's no room for arrogance. They need to keep this going if they want to close out tonight with a win.
Yeah, and I mean, playing Nebraska tomorrow, you don't want to have to go to 5 sets. If you can win it in 4 sets, even better. Nebraska's not playing today, so they will be well rested. Number 2 team in the country. You need all the rest you can get because tomorrow's going to be a tough day. But they can't focus on tomorrow. They have to focus on winning this game today.
Valentina, no, my apologies. Still Scotty Johnson serving up the ball. Scotty Johnson taking her time, waiting for the right moment to send that ball in. There's no rush. She's going to serve it up. Northwestern having to block from the back. Get that barely in bounds. Michigan sending it in. It's going to go out of bounds again. That is going to be 6-0 Michigan. Northwestern, if they weren't in crisis before, you'd say they're definitely in crisis now with what I believe maybe the biggest lead of the game so far.
Yeah. I mean, 6-0. Northwestern needs a point more than they've ever needed a point in this game.
Northwestern still not able to do much on the offensive front, but they'll finally get their first point with the kill. It is now 6-1. I think that's definitely at least a morale boost for them.
Yeah, and that'll be Dodson and no Sanjacomo in this game. She's right now.
Michigan, they're gonna try and block it. That could have been disastrous, but they're gonna send it back over. Northwestern parrying it back. Michigan sending it all the way from the back. Scotty Johnson trying her best. Northwestern's gonna win the block, and they're gonna win another point, cutting Michigan's lead slightly down to just 4 points.
Yeah, and that's a tremendous block. And Rylan Reed, who's serving, this is the first time in the game she's been a difference maker. Just as I say that.
It's going to be a serve error. That's going to give the Wolverines another point, bringing the lead back to 5 up.
And here we go. It's Valentina.
Much has been said of the freshmen from Argentina's serves, but they really are something to behold. Something that adds a lot of dynamism to that Michigan offense. Just as we say that, because apparently we seem to have a gift for jinxing these athletes, she's going to commit a server error, which is going to give Northwestern a point, bringing the score to 7-3.
And that's going to happen. I think she's a freshman. She'll get better. She'll get more consistent. But by year 2, 3, or 4, she will be one of the best servers in the country.
That is going to be a Northwestern serve. Michigan seemed like there was a bit of disorganization there, but they've still got the ball in their half. They're looking for the right moment to send it over. Kendall Murray tries to get it over. Serena Nambio is going to go for that, but it's going to fail. Northwestern get their 4th point.
And Michigan got what they wanted. They got Kendall Murray with a kill opportunity twice in a row. Just couldn't finish. Kendall Murray, in terms of hit percentage, has not been her best game.
Michigan, again, there seems to be a disorganization on that side, and that's going to culminate in another Northwestern point as a attempt to kill just goes out of bounds.
Yeah, and Northwestern right back in this game. 7-5 is Dotson comes to serve.
It's a game of margins, and the margins between these two teams are extremely thin. Northwestern sending it back over. Michigan, Scotty Johnson tries to get it over. Kendall Murray sending it back up. That is going to be Northwestern. They have the ball on their side. They're going to try and kill, but Michigan not going to be beaten yet. Kendall Murray trying to do her signature move again. Scotty Johnson sets up for Kendall Murray, but Kendall Murray is going to be parried back onto her own side as Michigan try to get the ball over. It's currently a war on nets, but again, this goes in the favor of the Wildcats, who have now 1 point back in the game, with Michigan somewhat collapsing after holding a massive 6-point lead not very long ago.
And just a great rally there. Michigan just can't finish today.
Michigan going to commit yet another error as Northwestern now level. Attempt to spike ended with the ball going into Michigan's own net. It's 7-7. The Wolverines are going to call a much-needed timeout.
Yeah, I mean, 7-7 after leading 6-0. A little concerning, but when you come out of that huddle, you know, it's a 0-0 game. They're in the same spot as they were at the start of the set. That 6-0 lead gave them a lot of cushion, but still you have to be a little bit disappointed that they still don't hold the lead in. But, I mean, credit Northwestern just fighting back. Clearly that was a well-used timeout. Yeah.
And again, still only about a quarter into this game. There's plenty of time for Michigan to improve.
And I think if we break down some of the stats here, so we can look at hitting percentage, which hitting percentage for both teams has been very down. So now hitting percentages calculate, you take the kills, deduct the hitting errors, and then divide that by the total attacks made. So we look at Michigan's hitting percentage. It's for the match, it's 145, and in set 4, it's actually in the negatives. Look at Northwestern's, it's 117, and also in the negatives for set 4. Set 4 has been clearly very sloppy.
Northwestern with yet another serve. Michigan trying what they can. Serena Nambio tries to get it over the net, but Northwestern are going to have an answer to that with a parry. Northwestern, now Michigan, trying their best to get back into this game, to take control of the game again. Northwestern will not be beaten, building a good momentum, a good rhythm. Just as I say that rhythm is broken. Northwestern can't get it over the line. That's going to result in a Michigan point.
Yeah, and Hernandez trying to go far side, but the risk is, it's a really hard angle, and it kind of rolls off the net.
I really have a gift for jinxing these players, I guess, as Michigan, that time Brooke Humphrey, are going to get a serve across. Northwestern tries to get it over the line. That is going to result in another point as Michigan fails to deflect that.
We have not seen Julia Sangiacomo at all this set. I think
Michigan going to try and get the ball across. Northwestern playing it on their own side, being composed, being patient. It's going to teeter on line for a bit before it ends up back on Michigan's side. Michigan going to try and play with it, but that is going to be a Michigan point as Northwestern failed to keep it out. It goes out. Looks like a narrow margin, but it's a point for Michigan. They score again.
Yeah, and back to Sangiacomo. Her hit percentage is 0.58. Normally 300 is about a good hit percentage.
Yeah, as Michigan are going to yield another point through a server error. Those are the sort of mistakes that you would really like to avoid, because those are often some of those marginal mistakes that go on to decide a game later on. And that was number 19, Maddie Cochran, the server, who committed the server error. Northwestern serving this time. Michigan trying to get the ball across, and it's going to be out of bounds, and Northwestern are going to have the lead for, I believe, the first time in the set.
And Jackie Boney, she really hasn't been around this game too much. I would like to see her get more involved.
Northwestern are going to serve. Michigan try to parry it. Scotty Johnson tries to set it up, and that time it is going to succeed as Jackie Boney connects. It's 10-10, Michigan.
And they got Jackie Boney more involved. Maybe a little bit rusty on that first hit, but I mean, when she's on, it just opens up a whole nother offense. You have two threats on the floor in Murray and Boney.
Kendall Murray now serving it out from the back. Good serve. Not much that Northwestern could do with it then, but thanks to a low ball that Brooke Humphrey couldn't have done anything about, they're gonna put a point back on the board.
And Kennedy Hill, we have seen flashes, and that was a flash right there. She comes right out of the game. I think Northwestern just wants her in little key spurts.
Northwestern are going to serve. Scotty Johnson tries to set it up for Boney. They're going to try and do the same move that they resulted in a score, and it's going to work again. Again, 11-11.
Jackie Boney, once again, she's so key. They have to get her involved offensively. She can't just be a blocker.
The Johnson to Boney connection is absolutely key here.
As Boney goes out of the game, and here's Serena Niambio.
Serving is Mira Chopra. And Northwestern are going to hit it out of bounds in an attempt to kill the game. It goes Michigan's favor. It is 12-11.
And Maddie Chin has just had a super tough game today. Hit percentages in the negatives.
Serving for Michigan, Mira Chopra yet again. Take her time, but she's going to get the ball in the air. Northwestern are going to try and parry it up. They are going to try and spike it. It doesn't end. Michigan keeping the ball on their side. Serena Niambio spikes it. Serena Niambio for the kill. It's 13-11. Michigan's biggest lead since their run of dominance earlier.
Niambio, so good at the net. Obviously, that's why she's a middle blocker, but she has been so important for this team.
Chopra taking her time. Chopra gonna get the ball in the air. Northwestern gonna try and parry it. Niambio tries to pull off her signature move again, and it succeeds. It's 14-11. Michigan slowly starting to try and regain control of the game as we get to about the halfway point.
A great job by Michigan going on a little mini 7-4 run here. And just great mental fortitude there. And this Michigan team is getting closer to their first win in almost a month.
11 points to go, but Northwestern are also going to score quite a few points, judging by the trajectory of this game.
And I think Serena Niambio has been maybe the MVP of this Michigan team for this game. Maybe a little quiet early on, but this second, third, and fourth set, she has really the third and fourth set, she has been just an absolute X factor.
Oh, absolutely. Her playing in that middle block role, absolutely crucial to Michigan's success.
Yeah. Only one error compared to 9 kills. I mean, she's such a smart player, a quick player, and she's so good at those timing plays in front of the net.
Mira Chopra is waiting, still positioned in backcourt, but she will serve soon. It's now. Gets the ball across. Northwestern having to go to low to defend that. They try to kill it, but Michigan not beaten yet. Goes low, blocks it. Michigan's try to kill it, but it doesn't work in their favor as it does work in their favor, my apologies, as it is a 4-point lead now.
And the blocking for Northwestern does not succeed.
Michigan now 10 points away from the victory. Chopra gonna serve it, and this time it is going to be a error from Michigan. They managed to they fail to psych out Northwestern, who smartly let the ball run out of play. They get the point. It's 15-12, a 3-point game once again.
And Chopra in for serving. She leaves the game. And Humphrey's in.
Humphrey, low block. Johnson sets it up. Niambio trying to do what she does best in her position in the middle. Johnson trying to set it up for someone. Volley tries to get it across. No, sorry, that was Kendall Murray. Kendall Murray again tries to get it across. Humphrey now. It's Johnson. She hits it out of bounds. That is a point for Northwestern.
Yeah, in Scotty Johnson, she's a setter. He's not there to hit. Tries to hit and surprise Northwestern, but it just doesn't work out. And I think Northwestern will take that every time.
It's going to be a Northwestern serve as Kendall Murray tries to play it out to the back. Johnson sets it up. It is going to be another Michigan point. They go 16-3 up.
And Valentina Outlet, just another fantastic play. We've seen her serve great, but in the field of play, she's been getting better.
Along with Carly Gruskovitz, arguably the most exciting young freshman on the team. Johnson taking her position back in the serve. She's going to send it back. Northwestern try to play it out from their side. Johnson tries to set it up, and it's going to be no avail for Michigan. It's going to go out of bounds again. Northwestern gets another point. And I would argue this attempt to kill the game and the ball rolling out of bounds has been an issue for both sides. I think it really reveals a lack of efficiency on both ends of the field.
Yeah, the efficiency just has not been there for either team. But this is a chance for Michigan to win a game where they are not their best. Because tomorrow they will have to be at their very, very best. Even then, that might not be enough against the Cornhuskers. But yeah, the lack of efficiency. We have not seen Sandra Como. Actually, it looks like, as I say that, Sandra Como is going to come back in the game. I don't know if she was hurt, maybe just taking a little break. But if Sandra Como can come in and be effective, she struggled here today. If Sandra Como can be effective, then Michigan's going to have a tough time. But I think so far what we've seen here today is when it works, but it's not very efficient. As opposed to someone like Nyambio or Boney, who have been very efficient today.
Absolutely, yes. And we are waiting for the end of this timeout as the big screen at Chrysler just goes over some of the plays that were important, or does a replay of one of the last few plays as the team is huddled up. I wonder what they're talking about down there.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we had mic'd up, but we do not. That is assistant coach Panavia Jenkins discussing some tactics there.
And this is an all-new coaching staff. Aaron Virtue, Dan Pavlikovsky, Benavia Jenkins, and Nick Clark, all in their first year with the team.
Yeah, and a totally new coaching staff. Obviously, 2-11, not the way you want to start, but we see some young players that have a chance to grow, be developed by Aaron Virtue, and here comes Sandra Como in the game for the first time this set, substituting in for Rylan Reed, who has been just a really positive player here.
Scotty Johnson is going to serve again. Johnson waiting, taking her time.
I think we're having some trouble with the scoreboard here, looks like.
Johnson gets the serve off. Northwestern gonna try and parry it up. Northwestern gonna try and get a kill. Michigan barely gets that off. Close call there. Northwestern again, another attempt to kill that ends up getting parried back to them. They're trying their best to keep the ball in play, and it doesn't work out in the end. It goes out of bounds, and Michigan will get a point.
And the passing there on that point for Northwestern was just did not allow them to get any semblance of a dangerous hit.
Scotty Johnson waiting to serve. Johnson serves. Northwestern return it. Ends up on Michigan's side. Back to Northwestern. Northwestern tries to kill it, and they will succeed. They'll get a point. Little low for Michigan to try and parry off. No shame in that. It's 18-14.
And, I mean, those digs right there, Scotty Johnson has done great, but not having Hannah Grant, who is just a dig machine, is it's tough.
Northwestern with the serve now. Michigan trying to get it off. Northwestern keeping it in the air. Michigan, Kendall Murray now trying to get it out from the back. Back. Northwestern. The ball's going to go out of bounds. To Michigan's advantage. They have 19 points on the board, only 6 points away from victory.
And Hernandez, that's another attack error. Northwestern. I mean, both teams have been pretty sloppy with their attacking.
Valentina Volley with her first serve in a decent period of time. It's, again, another great serve. Goes all the way to the back. Leaves Northwestern with not much time to defend it. Kendall Murray trying to get it over. Northwestern trying their best to do something with it. And they're going to succeed. Credit to them. They're going to get a point on the board. Building a rally and building a series of attacks that Michigan just wouldn't have been able to keep up with. 19-15.
And after a great serve and in a perfect, in terms of if you're on Michigan's side, perfect return, they just couldn't get the right pass to Kendall Murray.
Northwestern serve, they get it up in the air to a major serve error. Michigan have now hit the magical 20-point mark. They're still 5 points away from victory, but they must be optimistic now. They must be encouraged, as acting libero Brooke Humphrey is now getting off the serve. She's going to send it back. It's another solid serve, but unfortunately it is lobbied back by Northwestern, who get it over the line. It is 20-16. It looks as if Kobe Siegel had to temporarily step off. Tim DeGrand joining us back on in a color roll.
I'm back. Yeah, he had to go take a phone call.
Michigan going to try and play it off again. Northwestern trying to get the ball over. Kendall Murray now. Sky Johnson tries to set it up. And that is good ball, but doesn't quite hit the mark for a point. But Northwestern are going to bank off Michigan's brief defensive lapse at the back. It is 20-17. They are very much still alive in this game, even if Michigan has a slight advantage in terms of momentum.
Just barely snuck that one in the back line right there. Trying to make a little bit of a comeback. Michigan still in the driver's seat.
They get the serve off. Humphrey parries it. Johnson sets it up. Murray tries to score. She won't. Northwestern have the ball on their side, but they're going to hit it out of bounds. Michigan has 21 points.
That's an out. It's a great job there, Michigan, just keeping that ball in play and forcing Northwestern to make that mistake, throwing that ball out of bounds.
A 4-point lead at this stage is fairly healthy, but Michigan still have a bit of work to do and have had a capacity for some mistakes in this game. Maddie Cochran delivering the serve. Northwestern are going to try and build it out. They're going to try and kill it, and it just doesn't make the mark. Michigan have a 5-point lead. It is 22-17, and for the Wolverines, you could say
they're right there.
Victory is approaching. 3 points away.
Can't get too confident, though. There's always the opportunity for Northwestern to make a run here.
Cochran sending it up, but it's going to go out of bounds. That is going to be a point to Northwestern's advantage, proving that there is no room for arrogance here.
That's
it's
exactly
a game of very fine margins.
Exactly. That's not what we need right now. When we're this close to winning, have this big of a lead, you just want to be able to. You can't be giving Northwestern possession. You can't be giving them serves. You can't be giving them points. And that was just giving them nothing without being forced to.
Northwestern are going to serve it. Sky Johnson tries to set it up for Boney. It is going to be back on Northwestern's side. They're going to try and play it out. It is a low attempt, and somehow Sky Johnson manages to dig that out. Or, no, my apologies, she doesn't. She tries, but it gets out of bounds. It's an out. That's Northwestern's point.
They were able to kind of get in there and stop it, but it was too low in the first hit. The second hit was towards the sideline. Sky Johnson running away from the net, diving out, wasn't able to get it back across.
You can tell how badly Hannah Grant is missed on some of these missed hits. A major serve error for Northwestern is going to work out to Michigan's advantage. It is 23-19. They are 2 points away from victory.
I'm not gonna lie, that kind of bailed Michigan out there. That's making up for Maddie Cochran's missed serve that she had before that. Northwestern just shot themselves in the foot. Might have just lost in the game with Kendall Murray serving now.
Kendall Murray is going to send it up. It is a good serve, but
right on the line.
Yes, it is a good serve. It's right on the line. Barely there for Michigan, but they can smell victory. You can already see a lot of fans leaving. Let's hope they don't regret that decision.
Kendall Murray putting the team on her back.
Murray sending it up again. Northwestern trying their best to stage a comeback. Brooke Humphrey sending the ball up. Scotty Johnson sets it up. Volley tries to kill it there. Northwestern still trying to stay alive. It's going to bounce off the hands of Murray, and it's going to be a Northwestern point, 24-20.
Game point right here still. And I'll say, that Kendall Murray ace, that's her first ace of Big Ten play yet. She won the first 4 games Big Ten, not a single ace, bunch of service errors, but now she's got herself on the board.
Northwestern with the serve. This is one of their last lines of defense. Sky Johnson sets it up for Boney, and there it is. Michigan wins it. Northwestern try to get the ball in, but it's going to roll out of bounds. That is going to be 25-20. Michigan wins it. There you have it. The first victory in
over
weeks.
a month.
Over a month since the North Carolina game.
We swept North Carolina 3-0 back in September 8th, and now here on October 6th, we beat Northwestern 3-1. Our first win in the Big Ten season so far, and our first win, like we said, in about probably 7 games in a month. It was just an incredible performance by our girls tonight.
Absolutely, yes. A lot of offensive firepower. In particular, I want to highlight Kendall Murray, Serena Niembio, Scotty Johnson's involvement with each setup, Valentina Volley shining as a rookie. I could list this entire team. I could list everybody who played there today.
They had great games. I will say, special shouts. I will say Serena Niembo, especially in that third set, had a lot of great plays in there. Ended up with 9 kills and 5 blocks. She was spectacular out there. Kendall Murray, of course, led that team with 13 kills, and Boney had 11 right behind her, and Saj had 10 behind that. So it was a lot of great distribution of scoring for the team. It wasn't just so dominated on Kendall Murray, but it was able to be spread out a lot more. And I think you're starting to see this team that, again, we have a lot of freshmen playing, a lot of sophomores playing, first-year head coach. Now that Coach Virtue's been able to be back the team for a couple of weeks now, the whole coaching staff is there, and this team has got a chance to play together a little bit more, kind of get that experience. They've all been losses, but still experience. And so now I think you're starting to see them figure that out a little bit more. There's still some miscommunications, especially between, there's a couple plays there where Brooke Humphreys and Carly Grishkovich had some miscommunication on who was taking the serve there, but they did a really good job of meshing, of capitalizing on Northwestern's mistakes, and making up for their own. And this is just a great sign for the future of women's volleyball here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think a lot of the issues that the team had with struggling a little bit with clearing the ball at the back will be rectified once Hannah Grant returns.
Oh, yeah. She's someone that's been missing. She's someone who will make an immediate impact once we get back in here, too. And I think another great thing, I kind of mentioned it earlier on, but we were able to limit our errors a lot more today. There's fewer service aces than was in the last few games, and they're really able to kind of, for the blocks, instead of turning blocking errors into points on the board, and just doing a really, really good job of not letting Northwestern back in the game. Because it's happened a few times that we've seen, like the Michigan State game. Even though we got beat 3-0 in there, even if we might not have won, we would have had a set or two if we didn't make those mistakes late in the game that allowed Michigan State to come back in it. And you saw it here at the end. Northwestern, we were up on them by about 5 or 6 points. All of a sudden, we mess up the serve. We fault in the serve. They get a point or two in a row, and it's looking like we might start collapsing again. But we held strong. We were able to take advantage of their own service error. We were able to come through and score those points and win this game.
Absolutely, yes. And Northwestern showed character. They showed strength. They tried their best to fight back a couple of times, but Michigan would organize in time, do their best to get the ball played out the back. We're wrapping our coverage up, but just before we leave, Tim, I'm just going to ask you, what do you think Michigan did best today, and what do you think they were the weakest at today?
I think the big thing, I think I kind of mentioned it, service errors are probably the worst thing that you can get in volleyball, because it's just a free hit of you getting the ball in play, and when you hit it out the back of the court, you hit it into the net. You're not only giving the other team a point, but you're giving them the momentum, and you're giving them the serve of their own to take advantage of it. So the fact that we were able to get a couple aces in there, Kendall Murray getting her first ace of Big Ten play, and kind of limiting those, I think that's a really great thing to have. We still need to work on some of that communication. There's still a little bit too many times of people kind of like looking at each other as Scotty's setting the ball, looking like, wait, is it you, is it me, is it me? There's a couple of those. There's just some players running into each other, going for a ball, especially when it's up on the net. Granted, it is kind of a chaotic environment when that ball gets kind of stuck on the net, but it's still something that you just see players kind of like like smush up there, and you saw it the couple of times where something like that would happen, and all of a sudden the ball bounces out to the side, and no one's out there. So I think getting better with that kind of chemistry, positioning, getting comfortable with each other on the court is going to go a long way to helping this team grow, not just through the rest of this year, but next year and the years after that with Coach Virtue at the helm.
Absolutely, yes. And as for some of those communication errors, while this is a new team with a new coaching staff who, assuming they're still around this time next year, there will be time for that chemistry to build. There is a fair few freshmen on here who will likely grow into their roles as key players on this team. But while this has been a rough season so far, this game showed that the Wolverines do have potential, particularly in terms of scoring, and the sky's the limit for a lot of these players.
Even if we never win a game for the rest of the season, we still have this night where we're able to put together and we can see that potential coming forward. Obviously, again, tomorrow night in Nebraska, right here in Christ Center, 8:30. I'll be on the call with my friend TJ. That is probably not going to be as exciting as this game because Nebraska just is that good, is that dominant. But after what we've seen here today, nothing is impossible.
Yeah. You just hope that Michigan can show in the event that it is a loss where they show some character, a loss where they hopefully take it to 5 sets, or maybe a win. Stranger things have happened in the world of sport, in the world of volleyball.
Absolutely.
So the Wolverines will take on Nebraska next
Tomorrow night, 8:30, they'll play Nebraska.
Be on there with Tim DeGrand and TJ Fossmeyer with WCBN. As always, bring you the best possible coverage of all Michigan sporting events, free of charge. That wraps up our coverage of this Michigan versus Northwestern volleyball game. We hope you all enjoyed it, and we hope you all have a fantastic Friday night and a fantastic weekend watching Michigan, the Wolverines, hopefully beat Minnesota away tomorrow night, and
Absolutely.
the other Michigan teams. If you're in Ann Arbor, enjoy the last strains of Ann Arbor fall and Ann Arbor summer while it's still there. If you're from somewhere else, have a great weekend wherever you are. And as always, we will leave you with a good night and go blue.
Go blue.